Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Friday night stream. Tonight we've got two guests on the channel. As per usual, we've got Andy from Elemental Encounters,
Hello.
and we've got Kat, also known as Lily B. Fullertrix.
Good evening, everybody.
Right, as you know, Andy has done a stream tonight on his investigation that he did recently at Hell's House in Middlesbrough. I did get that right, didn't I, Andy? It is in Middlesbrough.
You did, yeah. Yeah.
So we've come onto my channel now to discuss with Andy and Kat about his video and Andy's thoughts on the place and also Kat's thoughts on the house itself and other matters she wants to discuss. Before we go any further, and I think Andy will support me in this, I'd just like to say thank you to everybody who was just on Andy's video. You know, the respectful manner that you actually treated Rose while she was on there. Because
Yeah.
she's had a lot of hassle lately, and it was nice to see everybody actually being respectful in the chat.
Yeah, tonight is how it should be for me. It was really pleasant, really good. Everybody were getting along and, just respectful. And thank you for everybody who participated.
Yep, thank you very much. Right, so we'll crack on. I presume most of you have actually seen the video, so we'll start off with Andy. Andy, can you tell us a bit of background on the house for those who don't know about it?
Right, so Elle's house. Right, so it's been in Rose's family for over 50 years. And Rose started experiencing paranormal activity at age of 7. You know, it's been going on that long. She's now 57.
So it's been 50 years then.
Yeah. Started out, as general things do, like hearing voices, like odd things moving about and all that, and it just built and built and built. So if we fast forward to more modern times, obviously the house is still owned, I think, by Rose's mum.
Okay.
Rose's mum's really poorly. She's currently like in care, I think, or in hospital or something like that. But like Rose and her husband Kev and Rose's brother are now looking after the house. So there's a lot that goes on there. Rose says there's numerous sorts of entities, coming in and out of the house and stuff like that. She can tell you a lot about each one of them. She's assigned sort of nicknames to them. They're not the real names, but she's assigned identifiable nicknames.
Does Rose know the proper names of any of them?
She says she knows majority's proper names.
Right. Okay.
And obviously that's a challenge for any investigator to see if they can come up with these names via devices, EVPs, whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's a good challenge. Assigning nicknames, I think, were a good idea to some degree. It's not to take Mickey out, or they're just nicknames. So the thing is, we Elle's house. Rose does say, as much as she loves the entities that reside there, she does believe that to some degree they make her ill, and they have affected other people that spend a lot of time in that property. Because there is a great sort of sweep of illness that's gone through family. I don't know. It's you never know if a property can bear down on you that bad. With activity that it could make you ill. We don't know if it's a connection. So yeah, I mean, upon our arrival, I can confirm straight away. I mean, we were hearing voices the minute we walked in the door.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, a little bit of history on house there.
So some people can hear me and some people can't hear me. Can people hear me now? Because for some reason, Andy, I'm not getting any feed through. I'm getting yours, and I'm getting Kat's. But for some reason, mine ain't showing up.
Can you hear Bex? She can't hear me. She's got her headphones on. Can you hear Brett? Yeah, Bex says she can hear you.
Oh, that's all right then.
Most people
All right.
are saying they can hear you, Brett,
Okay,
so
that's all right as long
Right.
as I know then. Right, so it's been going on at the house for literally half a century now.
Yes.
What are your thoughts when you first went in the house? Did it feel creepy, or what were your first impressions of it when you went in?
My first impressions when we walked through the door were it's a proper homely home. To be fair, it only took about 5 to 10 minutes to start hearing, odd little bits. And what we did was we sort of all stood and had a chat in the kitchen. Um, and then Rose took us for a little tour around, showing us all rooms and explaining some of the stuff that had gone on in certain rooms and stuff like that.
Right.
But there was one room, and I'm so gutted we didn't get a chance to do it in there. And it's what Rose labels as a portal room. Now,
Okay.
upon entering that room, it was like your whole body were being pressurized. It was
Mhm.
really strange. I've only ever felt that feeling one other time, and that were in East Drive.
Right.
It's a very similar sort of feeling, and that's in Philip's room.
Mhm.
It's like your whole body feels like it's being squished internally.
Right.
It's really strange. But in that particular room, she's got a lampshade that got fitted. She's got like matching shades throughout the upstairs bit.
Yeah.
And this one's completely deteriorating. It's just turning into like paper, and it's just
Right.
breaking to bits on its own.
Yeah.
Really strange stuff that's going on in there. So yeah, initial impressions were, but it were wavering throughout the entire night. It were wavering in and out. That's what kind of feeling we got.
Okay.
Like it go really clear and empty and pleasant, and then you get that sort of, oh, that feels a bit creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So you met Rose and Kev, and for those who don't know, there was a previous investigation done just before, a couple of days before Andy and Becky went in, and Rose got, in my opinion, a lot of very unfair flack off it, and she was
Yes.
called some rather unpleasant names and had some very unpleasant accusations levelled at her. How would you describe Rose as a person? I'm just going to answer this phone, Andy.
Yeah. No worries. So Rose as a person, what I can say about Rose is she's absolutely lovely. She welcomes you in with open arms. She's really friendly. You know, she has got a really outgoing nature. And I think I call her the crazy lady in way of a good version of a crazy lady. You know what
Okay.
I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'd call all our little group crazy people. I do. It's my sort of word, but no, that absolutely lovely. Kev, same. He's a top guy. He's an absolute top guy, and you know, which is and he's really interested in our sort of stuff because his background is Jamaican, and they're all into earth spirits and honouring earth and stuff like that. Which, me and him connected up straight away, which were cool.
Yeah.
But no, absolutely lovely, and I think what has been misled with other people talking about Rose is the fact that she's quite receptive of her own house. She's obviously got more connection with the house than anybody else that visits it.
Yeah.
And there's always the variable of how open people are and susceptible to paranormal activity.
Yeah.
Like she said that she has these growls, well, I'm going to say growl because that's how Rose says it, but we got one on an EVP on that video, but I forgot to tag it as an EVP because I was edited in a bit of a state.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more like a grunt, like a gruntly sound, like like a really strange noise, and we did pick one up, and she spoke about
Right.
that. So she's not crazy in respect to, I mean, I've read some of these comments what people are being aiming directly at her, and it is not nice, and I don't think it should be done. You know, it's going into the realms of bullying. It's absolutely unfair to target somebody's personality like what's been done. It's disgusting.
Yeah, and you know, I think most people in the community we tend to keep to are of the same opinion.
Yeah,
The extent the extent that it went on for, it was not only during the live stream, but it was also continued in the video chat itself, in the comments of the video. And you know, personally, I was a bit disappointed that one, it wasn't put a stop to, and two, there wasn't a warning put on the top of the channel to say, you know, any more would be removed, because you know,
yeah,
it really was bad. Is the nice way to put it. You know, and we're trying to keep this community as friendly as possible, and the last
yeah.
thing we need to do is people turning on one another like that. It's totally uncalled for. Right,
It
so
is.
what do you think about all the dolls and stuff Rose has got in the house? Do you think they are in any way adding to what's going on in the house, or do you think that the things are already there and the dolls are just added extras?
Yeah. Well, to be fair, there's only one, two, three. I think there's only 4 dolls at Elle's house that we couldn't remember seeing.
Right.
4 or 5. And she likes to put them in room which she labels as Grumpy's rooms, as like trigger dolls, you know.
Yeah.
And like she has said that, you know, because they are. I think some of them are these ones. If you walk past them, that they can set off doing stuff and stuff like that. So it's good for triggering if I want to play with them. And I know Rose is a big believer in haunted doll phenomena, and you know, me personally, I'm not.
Yeah.
But I don't disregard. If she gets good results with it, then that's fair dues. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but that's. I think she does just keep a few at Elle's house just as trigger objects. I think.
Yeah. So, what was the first thing you did when you got to Rose's investigation wise? Was it the bears?
No, actually, it was a spirit box on the old SB7 setup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, well, there is a recording of it from Mark Verno, because Verno sets a static camera up immediately. He always does.
Yeah.
You know, in hopes to catch Cara, which he did, which we'll move on to later on. But he's always got a static camera roll as Mark, and Rose had a little bit of interest in my spirit box. So I'll put it on for you, so have a look, you know, have a listen to it. So we've turned it on, and anyway, I just threw it. I said, "Does anybody want to talk to us?" And I don't know how many people know, but Rose is like a bit of a shortened name, and he actually said a full string name with a surname as well. And she turned whiter than white, and she was like, "I can't believe your spirit boxes have just dropped me in it like that." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" You know, I can't help what comes out of it. But she instantly, I mean, and I'm so gutted we didn't get a chance to do an SB7 later on at night.
Yeah.
You know, because it produced such good, you know. But then we went straight into live stream after that, which is what you see, you know, in the video with the bears kind of thing.
Right. So what were your first opinions once you'd actually started investigating? Do you think that there is something in the house?
Yes.
You do.
I definitely know there was something at the house.
Right.
That were even prior to investigation, like I said, because we'd heard a couple of voices, and Becky had actually been poked on arm while I was in the kitchen. And Becky was stood right next to me when it happened, and the one nodding next to her left-hand side.
Yeah.
And after, you know, Becky's not one to, you know, to misjudge, or, you know, she's quite true to fact, is Becky.
Yeah.
So I looked at it, she told me, "Oh, I've been poked in the arm," and I'm like, "Oh, that's cool. Let's hopefully we'll get more then." Rose picked up pretty quickly that we were all very much susceptible to what were going on.
Yeah.
You know, that we could hear these voices and these little bits of movement, and even Vernal, like I've just heard a woman's voice, and she was like, yeah, like, you know, you'll hear them all chitter-chattering and stuff like that. But for me, once we got, I always go in with thoughts that it's going to be something to do with our stuff, as you know, we deal with fear.
Yeah.
I did stand and explain this to Rhoda.
Sorry, guys, can I just interrupt? Sorry, chat. We've got somebody called Smells Like Bullshit.
I've just blocked them. They've gone.
Right, thanks.
I know who's behind it. They've got a lot of mental issues, and they're best just to be ignored. Just
Right,
ignore
okay,
it and carry on.
Right. I didn't know if you'd seen it. That's all. I
Yeah,
just wanted.
they've gone.
Okay.
They've gone.
Sorry to interrupt.
To be honest with you, I was expecting it anyway, so I've been ready for it.
Right,
So don't worry about it.
Okay, carry on.
Carry on, Andy.
Oh,
Sorry.
dear. Yeah, it's all right. I didn't even know. To be honest, I'm staring in Becky's direction. I'm not even reading chat at the minute. But yeah, go on.
I'm just
Right,
on it.
I mean, I explained to Rose that we are a lot different. We go in looking for the fair, mainly in houses, the house brownie style stuff, and I did explain to her what a brownie was.
Yeah.
And they will show as human, you know, to some degree. They can, if they don't want you to know the true nature, they will. And Rose also double trumped me with this, and she was like, "Well, they'll lie to you as well." You know,
Yeah.
and we were like, all right, so we're on the same page a little bit. Now, with a name like Grumpy, it were kind of forming that way for me anyway. I'd sort of already made an assumption what I was going to be dealing with. And I did bring this up to Rose. I said, I can only show him my video, because I'm going to go down a line of questions.
Yeah.
I can only show what I get answers to. You
Right.
know,
Yep.
either way.
Yep.
If they said no to something or go quiet, that's what I'm going to show. If they say yes to something, I'm going to show it. You know. But then obviously when asking about an house brownie, it alarmed, and if it had turned into a boggle, it alarmed.
Yeah.
And the fact that I asked as well, straight after, do you want Rose to turn you back? No answer.
Mhm.
Or no.
Yeah.
That's
So,
how we take that.
Why do you think it wants to stop as a boggle? Do you think it's just got used to it now, or do you think it may have gone a little bit mad?
Yeah. I think it's been like that long that it's quite happy with being like that.
Right. Okay.
I truly believe over 50 years with a boggleness, it's happy just staying as it is.
Mhm.
You know.
So, do you think it's of any threat to Rose, or do you think it's just happy to be mischievous?
Yeah. Well, this is it. This is what the rest of our investigation there. We're going to try and form some sort of context on why Rose would think the entities are causing illness and damage.
Yeah.
And we're going to try and get down into depths of that rest of the investigation, but obviously I didn't get a chance.
Yeah.
Because I suspect that they're not really doing that. I think it could be a sort of openness that she might think it's making her ill. I don't know. You know, I've heard of this sort of stuff before. You know, like people get what call is sick building syndrome.
Yeah.
Do you know? And they can't bear to be in like these houses because they feel ill all the time. And I don't know if she's getting some of that with her openness. You know, because I think she did say this place was built on an old farm as well. Where, but going back to history, I forgot about this. Where apparently a farmer murdered his entire family.
Oh, right.
And the land could be storing some negative energy there.
Yeah.
You know, not necessarily intelligent, but it could have stored some of that energy up.
Yeah.
You know.
Right, we've got a couple of questions been triggered, Andy.
Excellent.
Lindsay's got the first one. I find this very interesting, as when we investigate the paranormal, could we be dealing with elementals as they could allow our loved ones to, hang on, it's scrolled up, to come through just a thought. So what's your opinion on that?
Well, my opinion's always going to side with the fact that I believe that, in my personal perspective, and I know a lot of people don't agree with this, but we've got to, because of what the Fae have told us, that we're always dealing with them. Now, I have had an experience where a loved one says they have become one of them,
Yeah.
and still can talk to me and remember this life that they lived in this frequency that we're living on.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no saying that can't happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, for me, I go out, as regular as we can, and it always seems to be down to these Fae, or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah. Right, now Bloody Mary says, what is a boggle? So can you explain the difference to people in the chat?
Right, Bloody Mary.
Difference between a
So-
brownie and a boggle.
Right, so to some degree they are the one and the same thing. An house brownie is what is called a tutelary spirit. It means it's connected to your house. So basically, it has got as much right to the house as what we have. It's really strange, but back in old days, you can read up about brownies. They were really prevalent, and people would set little tables in corners of rooms and put offerings of corn and cake and stuff out. I mean, religiously put it out.
Yeah.
What an house brownie does is works on energy of your home. In folklore, they would tidy up for you, but what we find is that the tidying of the house means the tidying of the energy. So if you've got an happy brownie, you've got an happy energy. Yeah. If a brownie gets offended, it'll do one of two things. It will either leave the home in allowance for another to move in, or it will claim the house as its own, and it will become more goblin-like. That is called a boggle. Yeah.
Right.
Once it goes into boggle state,
Yeah.
it can get more poltergeisty. It can get more active. They'll start throwing stuff, scratching people, which again is another activity at Rose's. The scratching.
Yeah.
The scratching on in cupboards and stuff like that. It can get really nasty. But you can neutralise this mood by leaving out a cup full of honey.
Right.
Or a cap full, should I say? Just a small cap full of honey. No, the purer the better, and it'll neutralise them and turn them back to a brownie.
Okay, so it's not a state that they have to stay in, but I presume it's got to be their choice to convert back.
It's got to be their choice to take that honey and convert back.
Right, okay. Right, so in your experience and the time you spent at Rosie's, do you believe that everything that's going on in that house is caused by the Fae?
Yes.
You do?
Yes, to most degree, yeah. I mean, I didn't get a chance to talk to some at one's like Rose's name, the nickname, I did ask about the Hat Man and I didn't get a reply.
Right.
But yeah, I got a reply about the black-eyed children and the blue-looking imps that Rose has mentioned, which we would know as elves, and the black-eyed child shapeshifter. I got a confirmation that that's a fairy. Wow, this is really. Oh, Becky's on it.
It's all right. We were expecting this tonight, guys, because
Yeah. How many mods have we got? Because I don't know if Becky's on her own out there, or I know you're watching it as well, but
Becky's on, Sam's on, Debs is on, I think, or was.
I don't know if she is.
So
Is that
Ellen.
what she needs to
Yeah.
do? Because I know Ellen's in, but I don't know if does Ellen know what she needs to do?
basically, Ellen, if you need to block anybody, just click the 3 dots next to the name in the chat when you hover over the the typing and then just select hide user, and that'll get rid of them. Yeah, see, the problem is because this is coming as a combination of a couple of things. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because people are changing the names pretty quickly here.
yeah,
Yeah, that's why your name's in blue, Ellen, with a span of love.
yeah, I'm catching some of them. So
Oh, you are. Yeah, I know you are, love. Yeah.
you know,
Fastest spanner in Wild West is Becky.
yeah, they'll get bored before we do. Right,
Yeah.
Andy, you had Cara appearing a lot. I know you'd got
We
John
did.
there, but why do you think Cara was the prevalent that night?
Right. So there is a little bit of a back end to Cara being so prevalent that night. As you know, me, Becky, and Mark have worked together quite a lot, and there is a dispute to the true nature of Cara.
Yeah,
She's told Mark that she's a Sumerian demon.
right.
But from what I've heard about Cara's behaviour and what I've seen, she comes across more like an higher class fairy to me.
Right.
And me and Mark have discussed this, and you know, he's took it on chin, and he'd be like, I knew you were thinking that kind of thing, you know. So it's all good between us. But what we did notice was, once we started getting deep into face stuff, that Cara wouldn't show up around us anymore.
Right.
And there is a little knack that we have got with Tommy that if anything's in area and we ask what it truly is, it's got to tell us truth. And that's all because of Tommy, you know, because of respect that they've got for him.
Yeah.
It is an handy tool to have. You know, not everybody's got that, but it's why we've grown with Faye like we have done, you know.
You see, that's something I think is really interesting, Andy. That
What?
how things have been with Cara around you.
Yeah.
That she showed up like she did at Rosa's house.
Yeah.
It speaks volumes to me. I think there's something that Cara specifically wants you to find or to see at Rosa's house.
All right, maybe so. Maybe
Yeah,
so.
I think it's really unusual for Cara to show up the way that she
Yeah. Well, on the way to Rosa's house, because we'd noticed that Cara hadn't been, you know, showing quite a lot around us.
Yeah.
We assumed it was something to do with if we ask her what she is in front of Mark and she has to tell us, it could cause a bit of upset. Maybe we don't know. But me and Becky both did some talk quiet, and we both like did an internal sort of thought process saying, Cara, look, we're not going to pester you for what you are, you know what I mean, in front of Mark or out like that. Just please show up around us again.
Yeah.
And she made several appearances that night.
Right.
But like Matt, he's just chimed in, saying she's always there to protect him, which you know I can guarantee. But yeah, I mean, there's still a couple of clips I didn't include, you know, because there were that many are appearing. I found it rather interesting. She took a real interest in being there.
Do you think she appears more when there is more going on, or if you know there's more things in the area that she may want to interact with?
Yeah, to be fair, I mean, Mark's always told the tale about how she goes in and can empty an house, you know, if there's anything bad there.
Yeah.
And he did ask Rose if that's what she wanted, you know, and she was like, no, I'm quite happy with him staying here, and you know, and he was like, oh, that's fine, you know. But she does sort of like to make it. She's quite flamboyant in appearing. When she wants to, she's really good at it. She's one of the best I've ever seen, to be fair.
Right. It's alright, we're getting a lot of what's it tonight, Andy, but you know, thanks guys, because you're boosting up my view figures and stuff.
Well, this is it.
You know, keep it coming in, it all does the analytics the world of good. But yeah, Kat,
Yes, love.
What is it you wanted to discuss regarding Ells House and East Drive?
So the main reason I wanted to sort of have a little speak tonight is kind of in defence of Rose. I haven't seen all, I will be honest, I haven't seen all the comments, but obviously I'm aware of what's been going on. I don't know Rose other than from speaking to her in chat, I've seen the video. Obviously I know Andy and Becky very well. I've known them for a number of years now, and I trust them implicitly. And I know that they wouldn't say there was something there if there wasn't, and it's just obvious that there is. Rose, to me, from seeing her on the video, she just comes across as very enthusiastic about what is in her home. As Andy says, she's lived with it for 50 years.
Yeah.
It's blatantly obvious just watching the two investigations. The difference between them is just glaringly obvious. The approach, as we have both said in our comments, the approach is so different, and it speaks volumes. The amount of activity that Andy and Becky and Mark had in comparison to the nothing that the other team got. Now, the reason I wanted to say something is because
Go on, sorry, the dogs was getting excited.
They did actually mention an off-the-cuff comment about East Drive.
Right.
One of their, I don't want to be quoted on this, I don't know if it was definitely the very first place they went to, but when they were an unknown, they went to East Drive. I do believe it was the very first place they went to, but please don't quote me on that. When they were unknown, they were watching YouTube, they'd seen people like me, Andy and PD at the time going out. I worked there for 2 years, going out. I introduced PD to East Drive. You know, they went, they thought they weren't going to get anything, they thought it was all a joke, they thought it was all a con. They were scared out of their wits. I'm not going to swear because I know I'm not supposed to, but they could have quite easily, like they have had so many times at East Drive, had nothing happen.
Yeah.
That very first time they went, nothing could have happened. And if nothing had happened that very first time they went, would they have reacted in exactly the same way they did at Rose's?
Right. Okay.
Now, because they had the activity that they did that very first time, they've fallen in love with that place. They think it is the most active place in the world. They've gone back time after time after time. They rant and rave about that place, so much so that they are now featured in the book.
Right.
And it has just wound me up so much, the way that they have responded. You've got more or less two identical properties. The two homes with activity in them. Now, I know you have your opinion of East Drive, but you've not yet been there. Like I say, I've worked there for a long time, so I know a lot about that place, and it is one of those places where you can spend so much time there, and you can have no activity, and then you can have, it can be non-stop for 24 hours, and Becky backed me up on that. It was a crazy place, and I can imagine Rose's house being the same.
To be honest, Kat, it is very similar feeling.
I can imagine, yeah.
It's a very similar atmosphere.
Yeah. And it just annoys me so much that they even, like I say, in that off-the-cuff remark, compared it.
Yeah.
Yet they've had the gall, because now they're so big and they've got all these followers, to have done what they've done and to criticise her like that. Like I say, when they were unknown, just because they got activity that one time, if it had been the other way around, and I just think it is so unfair that once they've now got this fame and this, this so-called glory from YouTube and all these followers, that they have got the right to do this to people, and it's not on.
it's like I've even seen comments and Rose herself sent me a few screen caps on. Is everybody still there?
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
it just happened to have gone right. I had a bit of background noise and it just went really quiet then.
Yeah. We're still there.
So Rose has sent me some screen caps of comments that have been saying that her house is now fully debunked
Right.
due to another team's video.
Yeah.
And how can that be? In all seriousness, how can one team alone debunk a property in one visit?
That is
Yeah.
no proof of anything whatsoever. To
See,
do
see,
sort of
I ain't got a problem with them not getting anything. Well, see, for me, the last investigation was a bit contradictory because they seem to be agreeing with their commenters that nothing happened, but yet the entire video was showcased on being scratched by a demon poltergeist.
yeah,
Yeah,
You know, there was a contradiction there. You know, and I've got no problem with them as a team. The only problem I had was the fact that they let their followers say and do what they did on that live stream that night. And then not only did they allow it to continue in the video comments below the video, at points they did seem to be joking along with their fans. And for me, that is just not on. You know, you just
yeah,
don't do it.
it was the attitude, the whole attitude around it that annoyed me, Brett, because you can't treat two more or less identical places as complete opposites. They've only been in it a couple of years and they've gone from nothing to what they are now. And they know full well that you can go into places and have no activity whatsoever.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that a place doesn't have activity. I won't say haunted because haunted is the wrong word. It doesn't mean that a place isn't having paranormal activity. Rose is enthusiastic because she's, in a way, to me, she was proud to show Andy what was going on in her home. Yes, all right.
yeah,
It's causing her some difficulties, and what could possibly be some major difficulties at some points in her life. But she was just enthusiastic to show Andy what's going on there. And I think she tried to do that with them, but they came in with such an attitude that they were going to disprove everything. And I think also they had a bit of an attitude on that we're going to get in there before elemental encounters. Because they even comment up on Facebook, we'll stir it up before you get there, or words to that effect. Which, if we're all in the same community together, why do we have, why? We're all adults, for God's sake.
Yeah.
And it's just, no, they shouldn't have done what they did, and no, they shouldn't have allowed those comments to go ahead. It's disgusting behaviour by everyone, and all the shit that he went through with his brother, he should know better.
Yeah, I do think as a community, we should be sticking together, and what's been going on tonight is just reinforcing everything we're saying. All these people coming in and trolling are just proving everything we're saying. So,
We haven't had enough time.
the more they do it, the more they're proving what we're saying is true.
Yeah, we have had enough time proving to the rest of the world what we do is real.
Yeah.
And if we're fighting amongst ourselves, what chance do we have? We have enough evidence between us. It's there, it's all real, and there's all these there's people like Ron, if he's still in there, saying, "Oh, I can't find evidence. Go out and find it.
Yeah.
Get off your ass. Go find it. Do what we do. All right. I might not do it as much as I used to. I've got health problems, same as Andy, but that don't mean I don't do it at all. You don't have to find a haunted building. Energy's all around us. We can find it everywhere. We should be supporting each other, not pulling each other down."
Yeah. See, this is one of my arguments. You can actually go anywhere
Yes, you can.
and get, contact with whatever it is we're contacting. You don't have to go to East Drive. You don't have to go to places like Derby Jail or, and other famous places. You can go to your you can sit in your own living room and get contact. You know.
Absolutely. I have half a dozen videos that I need to upload from sat in the living room.
Yeah. And you know, and a lot of these places have only got where they are now because they are used on YouTube to drum a pipe for channels.
Yeah.
And you know, and that is my view of East Drive. I ain't saying East. My opinion is East Drive has not got what 99% of the channels claim it has got. I don't believe there's not anything there, but I certainly don't believe in a black monk. And
I need to correct you there because the monk was on the land and the monk is to do with a well and the well is under the property.
but there's nothing from what I've gone into it, Kat, to do with that. There isn't actually even any proof that the monks were anywhere in the vicinity of the house. There is proof that they were working fields nearby,
No,
but there is absolutely no proof that that house is on land where they were working.
There's historical maps.
Well, if that's the case, I'll stand to be corrected. But from the research I've done, I can't find anything that actually refers to the monks being there.
The local historian has got maps, and there's some actually up on the wall in the house, and he showed them to Nick Groff when he went over.
But the thing is, that house became famous through the Pritchard family. Yeah. And not once did the Pritchard family ever reference a black monk at that house. Not once. And this, to me, is just another example of where, over the years, urban legend has turned a piece of fact from a story into something different. Because Joe Pritchard did see something in the coal house. That is reported in the original story. But all he ever described it as was a large black mass. If anything, it was described more like a shadow man. It was never once described as a black monk. It's only since paranormal teams have been going in there that this black mass that Joe Pritchard's seen has been converted into a black monk.
They found out that there was a monk on the land. That they found out the history of the land, though. That's where the monk comes into it.
But have they researched which particular denomination of monks were there?
Yeah, it's from the priory.
Yeah, but do they know which denomination? Because very few monks actually wore black robes. Very few of them.
Yeah, it wasn't a black robe, it was a brown one.
So there you go. If they were going to be seeing anything, they'd be seeing a brown monk, not a black one. It's only the fact that people have tied two and two together since the Pritchard story, and they've turned records of monks in the area and a black mass being seen in the coal house, and they've combined the two into a black monk.
It looked like a monk.
But Joe Pritchard never said it looked like a monk. Not once did he ever report that mass looked like a black monk.
In the hall, they saw it in the hallway as well. You can see him in the hallway, and you can see he's still seen on a number of occasions in the hallway.
But who's seen him?
I've seen him.
You've seen a black monk in?
I've seen the shadow of a man that looks like he's wearing a robe,
right,
like a monk, and guests have seen him as well.
But don't you think that could be down to suggestion? Because, you know, for all these claims, there is not one single picture I know to that shows this black monk at East Drive. Not one. And in the amount of time that, and the amount of teams that go into that house, not one of them has come up with one palpable piece of evidence for a black monk. Not one.
Some wall in little back room.
Some pictures of the monk.
Some of the shadow, yeah, that sort of looks like outline of a monk, yeah.
So why aren't these in the public domain?
I don't know. They're not my pictures.
See, exactly.
Oh, because Bill has got rights on on Bill. There's a sign up saying any pictures that they're not my pictures. I didn't take them, so it's not up to me to put them out there. They were taken before I even got there. I
Right.
don't know what those pictures.
Yeah.
So I can only tell you what I've seen. Whoever took those pictures, I don't know. But I can tell you what I've seen there, Brett.
Yeah. You know, and I respect that, but me personally, I do not for 1 minute believe there's a black monk there. Not for 1 minute. I do think it's just an amalgamation of different things that have gone on at the house, have been merged together for the hype of it all, basically.
I've gone off the information about the land that's there.
Yeah.
And because there's more than just the monk there. There's
Yeah. There was no priory actually near the house, and I know that for a fact. But monks
it's just down the road.
they did work the land in the area, but I have not seen any map or anything as of yet, and I could be wrong. And if somebody can, point me in the direction.
The priory is just round the corner, and there's a map on the wall in the little room in the back. Andy's seen it.
Have you seen it, Andy?
What?
The map that shows the priory and stuff.
I vaguely glanced over the old pictures, but I didn't really take any much notice on them. What they are really. I can't say I like really, and it's been a while. It's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
I can find it, and if I can find it, I'll forward you it. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that anyway, are we?
No, go on, carry on.
Yeah. But yes, there is, Becky. You're right. There is a fay at East Drive.
As far as I consider, there's two.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, that is from what I've seen of all the people who go there. I personally believe that's all there is there. I don't believe there's a black monk.
There's residual spirits there. The very first night I went, I was a guest, and we were doing some work there. Because obviously you can't use Ouija boards, but we were doing some work, some glass divination, and we were getting whatever we were communicating with to spell out a word, spell out its name, by going through the alphabet, and it spelled out Fagin.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was telling us its name. Now for months, maybe it's got to be 18 months, Andy. Fagin used to come through on the spirit box, used to speak to me, used to speak to Olivia, used to speak to Andrew, took a right shine to Olivia, and it used to speak to us through the spirit box at other locations.
Mm-hmm.
It clearly come through and say Fagin. Now I thought at the time, because all this stuff never entered my head at the time, even though I believed in it.
I'll ask that in a minute, Lindsay, when we get back onto the topic of the fact. Go on, carry on.
As I say, I thought it was a name, but then something came up the other week, and Fagin, what is it? And it actually means happy fairy.
Joyful fairy.
Joyful fairy. Just never clicked at the time.
He says on 19th century maps there is neither any sign of a priory nearby or a well. And to be honest with you, that corresponds to what our
on 19th century. On 19th.
Was it 19? No, well, on 19th century maps at East Drive, yeah. So that would have been from the 1800s.
It's before that.
Yeah, but exactly. If there was a well there, it should be marked on the map, as should a priory, even if it's in ruins. I think the research, from what I can remember, and I did it about a year and a half ago. From what I can gather, I think the nearest priory is 20 miles away. But they knew that monks came into the area to work on the land, but there is no definitive evidence that they worked on the actual spot where East Drive is.
The priory is in ruins just round the corner.
I'll have to have a look on the maps again.
They're rebuilding it.
Yeah, you should be able to see it on Google Earth, I presume. But like I say, when I researched it about a year and a half ago, the nearest one that I found reference to was about 20 mile away. And
Yeah.
apparently they said that monks from that priory used to travel to the area where East Drive is to work in the fields, but there was no actual proof that they worked on the very spot where East Drive is situated.
Well, according to the local historians, that they did.
Yeah, definitely, Lindsay. Thank you. Now, well on 19th century maps at East Drive. Lindsay wants to know, Andy, can the
Yeah.
Fae attach themselves to people?
Yes, most definitely. Don't think of it as like an attachment, but them taking more of an interest in you. And you will get some that will come and revisit regularly. It's not an attachment like you think of a demonic attachment.
It's more like an emotional attachment.
Yeah, they take a nice interest in you, and especially if you start eating certain things they like, and they will come and visit you regularly.
Okay, Bridget, no problem. You have a good night. There was somewhere else I was going to ask you, and I can't remember what it was now. To do with the investigation. Right, one of the questions I want to ask, because, this was bandied about. Do you believe the house had anything to do with you being ill that night?
No.
Right, okay.
What I can tell you is I ain't told many people this so far. Is when we eventually, because I weren't ready to go to bed, but Verno were quite tired. He'd been working all day, and I saw him snoozing a few times, and we were doing his questions in the living room,
Yeah.
But we decided to go and get his heads down and sort of carry on next day. And about 3:30 morning, me and Becky got in bed, and I could hear Verno snoring from down hallway. Then Becky started snoring, and I was just laid there trying to sort of get I got a camera outside of me, in bedroom. I'm thinking if all goes off, I can click record straight away and start doing some calling out and stuff. I thought it would have been cool if that had have happened, but
Yeah.
I was trying to listen to noises at the house, and see if I could hear any footsteps happening and stuff like that. And then literally 10 minutes before dropping to sleep, I got some like a fingertip brush up my forearm.
Yeah.
And literally 10 minutes later, that's when my heart started and my condition, got worse.
Yeah.
And that's when we had to go. Well, I tried sorting it out, and then that's when we had to go to A&E. But that sort of were in a very similar time frame. That touched up my arm, and then my heart triggered.
Right.
I don't think there were necessarily a connection to it, because I'd already had an attack earlier on that day. Now, officially, I should have cancelled going to Rose's.
Yeah.
Right, because I had an attack earlier that day that we managed to sort out at home, and I should have known better. But usually, I don't have more than one in a day.
Right.
Unfortunately, first time ever, I did that day. So, it's a condition I've been living with for 3 years. So,
Yeah.
I don't think it was necessarily connected to the house.
Right, okay. It's alright, I'm just looking at the map that Lindsay sent me. I'm trying to find out where East Drive is on it. There's the Doncaster Road. I'll have a look at this later, Lindsay. Thank you for that. There's St Leonard's Church on here and Thorborough Hall. Thryber. Is that how you pronounce it?
No idea.
Yeah, Lindsay just sent me a map. I'm presuming it is of East Drive. Or the area of East Drive. Yeah, let's go back to Elle's house anyway. What do you think the noises and stuff are that people are hearing on Rose's streams, Andy? Can you tell us a bit about? Because there's no neighbours or nothing next door, is there?
No, well, the house that's attached that you can see in cover photo, that lady's currently not living at the property. You know, I think she's being ill or she's in care or something like
Yeah.
that. And then as you can see, the next one on, there's a dual drive.
Right.
You can see it in cover photo. There's you've got a good, at least 18-foot width. So any noises that are happening inside house, unless it's well, I'm going to say something else. Not a lot of people know either. That Rose's house, every window apart from upstairs ones, have got all metal shutters on.
Right.
And they've got the old-fashioned crank shut, to open them. And I thought it were really quirky and cool. I like that,
Yeah.
So sound travelling in would have to be really, really loud if it were coming from the street side, because we got that sort of EVP, like a dog barking.
Yeah.
And it were a singular yap, a really sharp yapping sound from a small dog. Now, if that were coming off street, I think that would have been a lot more muffled down in sound if it had been coming off street.
Yeah.
And you'd have probably heard a little bit more than just a single yap. Usually you'd hear like a couple of barks or it drifting off in sound as though walking away, or something. I don't know. Now, obviously, there's no dog at the empty house side.
Yeah.
I can't confirm if there's a dog at the non-connected side, but with that gap, I really muchly doubt you'd have heard their dog from within the house inside Elle's house.
Right.
Same with like sort of footsteps and that. You're not gonna hear anything unless it's inside Rose's.
Yeah.
Now, what I can tell you is that there is some sort of background interference from Grumpy's room. Sometimes there is what sounds like a boiler making a noise sometimes.
Right.
But before visiting Rose's house, me and Becky did sit there for quite a number of hours a few days prior watching different live streams that were happening.
Yeah.
And we could hear little footsteps running around.
Right.
And at some point in the upstairs Grumpy room, there were a couple of voices that come up at camera.
Right.
Which I found rather interesting.
Now, it has got to be said that a lot of the stuff that goes on when in Rose's house actually occurs when Rose is not there. Because Rose leaves those cameras running for hours at a time. And you can tell when somebody's in an house, Andy, because even if they ain't near the camera, you can hear them moving around. And sometimes I know these voices and footsteps and stuff are coming hours after Rose has left the house. So,
Yes, definitely.
How do people claim that she's faking it when it's blatantly obvious the woman hasn't been in the house for hours?
Well, this is it.
This
is it.
Do you think, because Rose likes to collect some right creepy shit,
She does. She does.
There's no doubt about that. Do you think any of the creepy shit she's got in that house is responsible for anything?
Well, as far as I know, bulk of a creepy shit. Well, I like what with terminology about this. The bulk of it is in her house in Coventry.
Right.
I think she's got over 900 collected dolls of some grotesquely shaped things to others, and she has got some very interesting artifacts. She was showing us one that looked like a mummified potato, weren't she?
You mean the penis?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
So, a lot of sort of creepy paraphernalia is down at her over house in Coventry. Same with her Jewish Dibbet box that she's got. Whereas Elle's house is quite tame with that sort of collectible.
Yeah. See, because like I'm saying, with the house being empty next door, with no one, being in it at the moment, and with the
Yeah.
fact the house is empty a lot of the time with just the cameras running, you know, the house has got a lot of evidence. There's no doubt about
Oh
it.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
are there things you think Rose could do to maybe cut down on the doubting Thomas's claims and stuff? Because for me personally, I think the best thing Rose could do right now is strip all the creepy mannequins and stuff out and just leave that house as an house. Because I'm still convinced everything will go on in that house that is going on, even without the mannequins.
Yes, it should do.
Definitely.
I think it's something she could trial run. You
Mhm.
know. And
Maybe some still cameras. What about possibly some CCTV? I mean, I know it's not.
CCTV would be good.
Yeah.
It would be good. I do swear by CCTV. It picks up some bloody good stuff. I've had some really good evidence before with CCTV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that'd be good for her to do that. Just a small trial run. I mean, if she wants to keep her dolls and stuff like that,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm inclined to actually agree with a comment Sam made. And this is just a personal thing. I don't believe calling it El's house does it any favors.
Yeah.
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 Because people expect extreme negativity with that sort of name.
Mm.
You know,
And to be honest,
and
is there a lot that goes on in the house isn't negative, is it?
no, I mean she's got her own personal
Yeah.
view and variance of what goes on there. You know, personally to her, but you know, from our perspective, it's quite pleasant.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, there's time to be proven wrong.
Mhm.
You know, we're more investigating and stuff like that. But I really do think a more broader name for house could help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rather than going to the extreme of El's house. See,
Yeah.
Laura's just put it's been, you know, L for Rose, which is a fair comment. But, you know, if you're gonna put it out on YouTube, you've got to take into consideration your wider audience, who for them it ain't been hell. You know, to your average YouTube viewer, the stuff that goes on in that house is just gonna think, damn, that's a really good haunted house. They're not necessarily going to associate hell with it. And I think
Yeah, that's it.
I do agree with you in the sense, Andy, that, you know, I think calling it Hell's House is maybe raising people's expectations of the kind of activity that goes on there, not the frequency
Chairs
of it.
flying around and
Yeah, yeah,
knives thrown and people being slashed and the whole kit and caboodle, aren't they, with a name like that? Unfortunately,
Yeah.
yeah,
I completely
I
agree
mean,
with Laura. You know,
if it were like a pure personal journey for us, you know, like and there were no intention or anybody ever going in, then that's fair. But if she wants people to now start going in and sort of, you know, finding what we find there,
yeah,
and even in prospects later down the line of letting public in at some point,
yeah,
then yeah, because that's where a conflict could come with these sort of comments that's come as well about, oh, it's debunked, there's no there, you know. Because the expectations on a name. It's like with any brand, isn't it?
yeah,
You know, a brand sort of is the name is the first thing you'll see of a place, and it kind of you've got expectations from that brand.
See, personally, for me, I think even if she stripped all those mannequins and everything out, I still think she'd still be getting all the noises and everything in there.
yeah.
I really
too.
do.
Me too.
I honestly think that, you know,
Agree.
they're attached to the house, not the actual mannequins and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, if she took them out, you know, and it would be an interesting experiment, even if it was just for a week and did a week's filming with nothing in there and seeing what happens. Then I think that would be, you know, an interesting experiment. You know, because I do think it, you know, with the activity that goes on in that house, it's definitely got a chance of being on par with, if not better, than East Drive. under Grey Street.
I think with a bit of nurturing, I think it could
Uh,
get really good. Yeah.
The
I
Grey
really do.
Street. Grey Street is rubbish.
You know, that's a place I've never even thought of going.
I've never wanted to go, Andy.
That is all hype.
I've never wanted to go. I've never had any interest in going.
That is definitely all hype. I think that bloke probably did have some experiences, and somebody cottoned. Well, it was one particular paranormal team that cottoned onto it and tried to get the poor bloke to do certain things, and then it was a case of he made a doll room and he made a this room and he made a that room, and people have made it into something that it's not. He tried to make it another East Drive, and it just isn't.
Yeah. Sam's put there, very often these negative words are associated with entertainment.
Yeah.
And I would personally not go there. Yeah, and I think this is this is part of the problem. I do think that you know, I've got no problem with Rose calling it Hell's House for her personally. But I think, you know, now she's changed the channel name to My Haunted House, I think it'll be a lot better. I think that's a perfect name for the channel. You know, and I hope it keeps it that way rather than reverting back to Hell's House. Because you know, I think that in itself will help the situation.
It softens it a little bit that way, doesn't it? My Haunted House. It just you still get that feeling of God, there's stuff gone on here, but not, and it makes you understand that she's gone through stuff, but you're not expecting to have a chair wrapped around your head.
Yeah. And the problem comes is when you don't get a chair wrapped around your head. You know, after you've been to somewhere that's been touted as Hell's House, there are those expectations there. You know, but me personally, I got no doubt that house is haunted in some way or other. There's something lurking there because there's noises going on all the while in that house, all the while.
Yeah.
I can see Laura talking about how she had tried to have house sorted twice. She had priests in, which she told us about that. And I can guarantee, you know, it's never, ever going to work.
Yeah.
You know, there has never been a case where having an house blessed or like that, cleansed, has ever worked properly because they're not doing the right thing. You know, I've actually had opportunity. I know an house close to here that we've been dealing with for numerous years, and upon finding out about the honey neutralizer, right, I was telling this lady about it that it's Kate, right? She witnessed her grandchild being pulled down bed, right, picked upside down in air and slammed into a washing basket.
Jesus.
She witnessed that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's come home with nobody in the house, and there's been kitchen chairs that's been took upstairs, right, balanced weird on bed with loads of photographs that family piled up on top on it. You know, really nasty stuff that goes on in the house. And I told her about this honey thing because I did get from that it were a brownie as well that had boggled, and it wanted to break my legs, it said, because I was questioning it, right? And she looked at me that day. I told her in middle of town, and she went, "Oh my!" She goes, "I can't believe you've just said that." And I goes, "Why?" She goes, "A full jar of honey's disappeared out of the kitchen cupboard."
All right.
And lo and behold, activity's calmed. It's calmed. So it works, you know. The honey works.
Yeah.
You've just got to keep on top of it.
Good night, Ellen. You have a good night.
Good night, Ellen.
But yeah, you know, if it is like you claim that it's brownies and the fae in there, no amount of priests going in there are gonna sort. If anything, it's gonna have the opposite effect in it.
Yeah.
You know, because I really can't see the fae appreciating a Christian priest going in there and trying to boot them out the property.
After what they did to back in the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, I can really see that going down well with the fae.
Yeah.
Like a lead.
It's like Rose has got like a prayer that, you know, I do know Ouija Brothers, Griff read it out in his video.
With that,
and she-
shall we read that prayer? Shall we read that prayer? Well, what's going to get the back up straight away, innit? And they're not going to want to interact with them.
yeah, that's right. I said to Rose, I said, "So why ain't reading that?" I said, "It goes against my grain. That does, you know."
See, the thing for me, Andy, when you and even if if people believe they're dealing with the dead,
Yeah,
the Bible in numerous places says that it does not approve of communicating with the dead. It does not approve of mediums. So
yeah,
why are people invoking a religion that totally disapproves against what these people are doing anyway? I see no point of protecting yourself with a prayer or nothing like that, because you're praying to a religion that does not approve of what you're doing anyway. It's pretty much forbidden in the Bible.
yeah.
It just seems a little bit counterproductive to me to do that in any situation. Well, have we had another visitor? Selena says, "What are brownies?"
So, an house brownie is what they call a tutelary house spirit. They are part of the fair realm, but do never call them a fairy because they will get offended. Um, what they do is they look after energies in an house. They claim an house as much as what we claim an house, and they think we should live together in harmony. But they do need respect from you. Like, they will respect you by cleaning and making energies happy. That's what they do. But they require food offerings in return and respect. Now, you should never offer a brownie directly because it can offend them, so you just got to leave some at heart and just walk away.
Yeah.
Sometimes even that can offend. It depends on personality. Sometimes they like to go searching for it or whatever.
Yeah.
But if your brownie is offended, it can either leave or turn into what's called a boggle, and they can start getting a bit nasty.
Right.
So, in a nutshell, that's a brownie. If you type in house brownies and go and have a look on Wikipedia, there's a lot of information about them.
Yeah. They're not what J.K. Rowling portrays Dobby as.
Similar, but not. Yeah, similar, but not.
Not the same. If you give it a sock, it ain't gonna suddenly declare itself free and run off into the distance or anything like that. Can you call on them to come to you, Andy? Nikki wants to know.
It's strange. If you believe your property hasn't got one, you can do a witchcrafty ritual to invite one. Most properties, though, you'll find have got one because they just move in even when one's being built. They search them out and move in. But it's very rare that you'll actually communicate with your own brownie, if you know what I mean. Like, they're quite happy you communicating with them. If I went to your house, Brett.
Yeah.
I'd probably, if there's one thing, I'd probably have to get talking and doing whatever. But my own one here doesn't then tend to like to talk to any of us.
Yeah.
It's like it works a bit. It's very strange in that respect.
Do you know why that is?
I have got no idea.
Right,
I've got no idea.
says, so how would you show appreciation if you're not sure you have a house brownie?
Well, back in day, I want to say in day because getting a time frame on this would be really hard. But you'd show your appreciation just as a matter because they believed in paganism times that every household had one.
Yeah.
But for it to get your attention, the activity caused by a brownie would be considered as poltergeist activity. You'll get bangings on doors or plates being moved in a kitchen or food or another very common trait that I've heard in a lot of cases is that they'll nick your house keys and hide them in fridge. And that's a surefire sign it's needing some food. if you're one of those sorts of people that just leaves food everywhere in the kitchen, it'll be quite happy anyway.
Yeah, it'll help itself.
It'll help itself, yeah.
Mark's just promised to send Laura a ghost in 5 minutes, so that should be interesting.
Oh, excellent.
I'll just ask you Maureen's question first, then I want to ask you another question about Elsa's. Maureen says, and I've never actually heard anybody ask this: do fairy godmothers exist?
I've not come across it anywhere. To be fair, I think it's definitely a Disney thing.
You think that's more of a fairy tale thing?
I think that's more of a children's fairy tale thing. Yeah.
Right now, Mark, go on.
Yeah, go on.
Go on.
No, I was just going to say, I think, if you got an older fairy that were really nice and, become attached to somebody, and I think you could consider that, you know what I mean, in that respect.
Yeah.
Can I just say what you were saying about your own house round who won't communicate with you? There's a prime example of that on one of my videos when I was at my mum's house. I was communicating with my mum's through the REM there. My mum were in the kitchen, and as soon as my mum got anywhere near the room door, communication stopped. Then she walked in, and it started again. And then as soon as she got anywhere near, it'd stop again, and it was like it was playing games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, as soon as it heard a voice and her footsteps get near, boom, silence. And then she'd walk away, and it'd start again. It was hilarious. And it was
the strange little creature.
Oh, little monkey, yeah. It's
What I was going to ask, go on. What I was going to ask you, Andy, is how many fae do you actually think are at El's house?
How many?
Yep.
Ooh,
Off bat, I can probably confirm 3 different ones.
Right.
But obviously I didn't get a chance to go down and question on a few others. Like the crab-looking one that Rosa's brought up quite a lot. I didn't get a chance to question about that one neither, which is a shame.
Yeah.
Because that one really perked me.
So what do you think? Are they 3 of the same type, or are they 3 different?
No, 3 different.
Well, obviously you only get one house brownie in an house, because they're like siblings. They fight if there's more than one in a room.
That's it. Yeah.
So what do you think the other 2 are?
Elves and fairies.
So you think there's an elf and a fairy there?
Yeah, they watched what confirmations I got through Ram there.
Now Johnny's not leaving money at the side of the bed. Okay.
yeah, there's a question about 2 fairies.
All right. We get lots of things falling, but I was closed off to the elemental energies. You've opened my eyes that there's so much more to learn. Yeah, Lindsay, it was the same with me with the coffee episode. And since I've done certain things that Andy suggested, we've only had one incident in the kitchen since, luckily. And that happened last week with the porridge. And they're always food related as well, Andy.
Yep.
Have you noticed that they're always food related? Really weird.
And I'm not disputing we'd have found out eventually about it, but it were Mark Vernon that put us onto the food thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because Cara had learned him. She was very keen on the chocolate, and it was Mark that gave us that tip years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's amazing. They think the things they like. Oh, don't make me talk about the coffee episode again, Laura, please. I've only just got back. Basically, I did a cup of coffee a few weeks ago. Went to put the milk in the fridge. Turned around, picked my coffee up, took a swig out of it, and somebody had added gravy granules on top of my coffee. So I'd got a coffee and gravy morning drink. It was disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
Definitely, Sam.
We are very often close to other possibilities and can put us in the... Exactly, Sam. You have got to open yourself to all sorts of things. Because it was something I said... I can't remember who I said it to. Was it you? Yesterday, Andy, when I said, people are willing to believe in ghosts. They're willing to believe in aliens. Why is it such a big jump to believe in the Fae?
I don't know. Especially since it's been documented for, thousands of years.
Yeah.
through that many different countries.
Yeah. I'm glad you find my coffee incident funny, Nikki. Honestly, I thought I was going to die.
It's been documented as long as man's been
Well,
documented.
exactly. Seeing the thing I'll say about the Fae is, you can go to any area in the world,
Yeah.
and you can go back and listen to their folklores and their history and stuff. And no matter where you go, every area has got their own version of the Fae we've got here.
Absolutely.
Now this folklore was evolved, thousands of years before people interacted.
Yeah.
So what is the chance that everywhere in the world is developing similar things at exactly the same time? They may have different names, but if you listen to the descriptions of them, you can tie
Yeah.
them to to what they are called in different countries.
Yeah.
I just can't see how our civilizations and communities that had no contact with one another could actually develop identical spirits
Yeah.
without
The-
them, there being some kind of physical interaction.
Yeah. England were, unfortunately, when the church came into play, were very, very penalised. People were found to be talking about them, sort of following them, believing in them, and that's why they went very underground, and that's why fairy tales started being written, because it was the only way that people had to pass on any knowledge of them and any history of them.
Yeah,
So
hang on,
to write fairy tales.
Griff's just popped in from the Ouija brothers. He's put, I just want to say that we're respectful and don't agree with what all the people in our comments say, and we would have sorted this out with Rose if she hadn't have blocked us. It was an accident. We never ban anyone. We let people talk, and we'll continue to do so. See, Griff, I only agree with that up to a point, because I think if you've got people being personally offensive to somebody in your channel, you should be dealing with it.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, as far as people's opinions on the house go, yes, they should be let to stand. But there were a lot of personal attacks on Rose that night. And regardless of what anybody's policy is, I don't think any channel should let personal comments stand. And it wasn't just the odd one, it was a lot. And they were also in your comments after. And quite frankly, a couple of times it did appear that Steve was not. I ain't saying you, because it weren't you. It looked like it was Steve was posting. It did appear like Steve was agreeing with him. Now you can't. I agree, Griff. You can't control what other people say, but you can block them. It's a very easy process.
You can censor
Yeah.
what any bullying sort of remarks. You can censor it.
Yeah. So why I do agree. People are entitled to free speech and stuff. I do believe as content creators, we do have a responsibility to draw the line when you've got people on there taking the mickey out of her hair and continuing to do so even after the woman stated it was as a result of cancer. And then you'd still got people in those comments taking the mickey. So there has got to be some responsibility by you and Steve for the fact that the personal attacks weren't removed. That's my opinion anyway.
I agree.
I agree.
To dismiss the house as well in the manner that it was done after one investigation, when you've been I don't want to bring the place back up again, but when you've been at ED so many times and known that that place can be silent and inactive, if you'd, like I said earlier, if you'd have had no activity in that place the very first time you went, would you have dismissed that place?
Like I say, I do remember Griff saying on video that it might have just been one of them quiet days.
Yeah,
he did say that, and I'll give him his deal for that.
Yeah. That's what I said.
But the sort of flock of viewers will group together and go, "Oh, it's debunked. There's no going on there," and that can be turned round. A flying comment can be missed.
Yeah.
You know, I think sometimes a bit more emphasis on stuff wouldn't go amiss.
Yeah.
Well, the
You
thing
know
is,
what I mean?
we've had it in this stream tonight. Look how many we suddenly got in here tonight, trying it, and we've blocked. You know, we've cleared them all off. You know, and
Yeah, it's only the same as moderating a live chat, isn't it? You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
if people come in and cause trouble, you get rid.
yeah,
And I think it's the same principle.
You can let them have the say, and you can give them a warning.
yeah. You know, but for me personally, I ain't got the issue with the investigation itself that they did because that's down to them. The issue I had is the fact that one, those comments were left to stand, but not only the comments in the live chat, it was the comments in the video the following days. You know, continued, and they not only were they not removed, it did appear in places that, you know, you were agreeing with them and laughing along with them. Griff, I've got no argument with whether you think the place is, you know, is haunted or not. The only qualms I'd got about it was how Rose herself was personally treated in the comments. You know, and I do think that you and Steve have got to personally take responsibility for the fact that they weren't removed. That is what I've got the thing with, you know, because nobody should allow their subs and viewers to be attacking somebody on a personal level. Nobody. I had a mark on me. I didn't think there was nothing there. Jason, try and speak to Rose off chat, as you know.
Do you know what, Griff? In all fairness, hats off to you, mate, for coming in and speaking.
Yeah.
Because Stian.
Yeah. You know, but like I say, I've got no problems one way or the other what your opinion on Rose's house is.
Yeah.
But, you know, I do think that the comments, both in the live and the comments on the video after, you know, needed to be removed and rather than agreed and laughed along with. You know,
Yeah.
I do believe a line was crossed in that respect.
Yeah. It's the way it was disregarded afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, we've done it. Nah.
You know, but even that for me, Kat, you know, that's just their opinion.
Well,
And
yeah.
you know, regardless of any play, you know, I'll do the same with East Drive. You know, so I can't hold that against them. Like I say, for me, the problem was the personal attacks. That was the problem for me.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there on person. That's completely agree. But,
Do you want to say anything, Andy?
No, I completely agree. I think the person you know, there's a lot of I've had numerous conversations with Rose about this, and yeah, you know, I agree that they should have been monitored. You know, I know it's easy to say you can't control what people said, but on your channel you can.
Yeah,
You know, you can do it, and when it's crossing into boundaries of pulling somebody's personal character down, you know, it's not right. I mean, it's made Rose pretty ill this past week or so. You know, how you conduct your investigations and stuff like that is completely up to you. You know, you've got your own opinion when you go into a place and you've done it. It's that after, you know, we your subs and your fans that you've got to watch.
no,
It can affect.
you don't open yourself up to be judged. No, that's wrong. I'm sorry, I disagree with that. A personal attack is wrong. Just because you let people in your home to do an investigation, it doesn't leave you free to be judged on a personal level. You're wrong there. I'm sorry.
Right, Jace, we never said the. See, JC, you're missing the point here. What I'm saying to you is, I don't care whether you think the house is haunted or not. That is of no consequence to me personally. The issue I had with the whole thing was the personal attack issues, and not only did it occur on the live, it carried on in the video comments after. The comments that people put on your video after it's finished. And in those comments, you know, there was a couple of times when the channel itself was actually putting love hearts and stuff like that in agreement to what people were saying in regards to personal attacks. Anything regarding Rose herself should have been removed. You know, anything regarding the house, it's, you know, is fair game.
Fair game.
It's fair game.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, you know, because not everybody agrees that a place is or isn't haunted. But when it goes into the realms of people personally attacking somebody, you know, calling them crazy, calling them, she looks like, I can't remember who the woman was off some film, you know, and nothing was actually done about that.
The woman had the decency to open her home to you. She didn't have to.
I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about the lady who keeps bringing it up. Do you mean Kat? Lily? Or somebody in the chat, Griff? I don't know which lady he's on about who keeps bringing it up. I don't know whether he knows.
Kat, you know who I am.
Oh, does he know you?
I know, yeah, he knows me.
Just wait for him to reply. I don't know which lady he's on about, Kat. I really don't. Rose and Kevin were such a lovely couple and made us feel very welcome in their home, and for that reason I'm always on standby to help them. The house is genuinely haunted. Yeah, I personally believe it is, Mark. But you know, if people don't, that's fine. That's fine with me. You know, because you ain't gonna get 100% of people believing you. The only issue I had with what went on during this whole thing was the personal attack thing and how it was not dealt with.
Right, so look at this now, Brett. He's put, I like Rose, just a bit pissed off with the way we have been treated by yourselves tonight. So you're pissed off with what you're saying is the way that you've been treated by us tonight. We've expressed our opinion at the way you didn't deal with those negative comments and things as you should have done, Griff. The way you went about that investigation, I feel personally, I don't like how you did it, but that's just my opinion. That is my opinion. I'm allowed my opinion. Not necessarily you, more Steve. I don't like how... Leave the investigation side of it to one side. The comments afterwards were bang out of order, and what you've just said there, that you're opening yourself up to be judged, you're completely wrong.
No, we weren't slagging you off, Griff. In fact, if you go back to the start of the video, you will actually see where I actually state to the people in the chat, thank you for not being disrespectful to Rose. Neither you nor Steve were mentioned in that comment whatsoever. I mentioned that people in your chat had been disrespectful to Rose. You weren't included in that, you know. And then we've spent the night dealing with your fans coming in and trying to disrupt this stream, you know. So I could take the moral outrage grand if I want to, but I choose not to, because this stream wasn't about you. It was about Andy's investigation, and all that was mentioned at first was the fact that I personally thank the viewers on Andy's video tonight for not being disrespectful to Rose on a personal level. You know, I could care what was said because I don't care what people.
So why have you just said you're pissed off? And I've just said to you, hats off to you, Griff, for coming in and saying that, so thank you. So, you know.
No, but neither of you removed them either, Griff. That's the point.
Right, Brett, I haven't looked at the comments, so you're going to have to comment on this. He's now saying that they haven't hearted any comments that are bad towards Rose.
There was one at least one on there where Steve forearted it, and it was something about Rose being it was a derogatory comment directly at Rose, and Steve straight underneath put 4 arts to it. So that I know I saw that myself personally.
Laura C. Well,
But this stream was nothing to do with attacking the Ouija brothers. It was dealing with Andy's investigation and whether Andy thinks the place is haunted or not. And the only thing I said to people was, thanks for not being disrespectful towards Rose personally. So if you consider that as an attack on you, you must obviously feel that happened, because the Ouija brothers were never mentioned. But we've had to put up with your fan base coming in all night, doing their best to disrupt this stream. So who's really at fault here? And I've got a good set of mods here who've kept this channel clear of all the crap. So we've proven it can be done, and believe me, it was coming thick and fast. Yeah, and I accept that, Griff, and I ain't saying it to you personally. I can say hand on heart, I never saw you say one single negative comment. But that was not the issue that was covered. The issue that was covered that were people in a live stream that were disrespectful to Rose. And the only reference that was made to it tonight was the fact I thanked people that nobody had been personally disrespectful to Rose regarding Andy's investigation. So...
I mean, Rose did ask, well, not indirectly, but she did mention not to have aught to do with putting that video up on our side of things, because she was fearing that it were all going to happen again.
Mm-hmm.
She was truly in fear that it were all going to happen again, and I had to, daily tell her that, look, it won't. We'll be on top on it, it won't happen. And tonight she got a bit of a surprise, and she found it really pleasant, which is good. So that says a lot, doesn't it, for effect that she's had of your subs and fans personally attacking, because that's what this issue is about. It's affected her, and you coming in because you've heard that we were doing something similar to you, which we really weren't.
And all your fan
obviously
base, and
brought you
base,
in to find,
and your fan base before you.
Yeah.
Who is actually causing trouble here?
Yeah, who's actually doing it?
Because if you go back on any of my streams over the last 2 or 3 months, you will see we've had none of this hassle like we've had tonight, until tonight.
Griff, I raised the issue of not getting activity on a first investigation, and I was comparing it, Rosa's house, to ED, and I was saying, what would have happened if the first time you guys went to ED? That's what I was saying. So if somebody's raised that and said that I was slagging you off, then so be it. Because looking at that house, to me, they look to be very similar houses. And Andy said it had a very similar feel. And I was saying, you guys know that at ED, you can go there and have nights that have no activity. So that's what I was saying. I said, I think it's wrong to dismiss something after one night, because that's what Steve appeared to do to me. I sat and watched the live stream. I'm not saying
but
did.
there has been no personal attacks on Ouija brothers here tonight. But I will say you've come in here all outraged, and all your fans have come here all outraged because you perceive somebody's been offensive to you, but you haven't returned the same courtesy to Rose by removing those comments. That is the point I'm trying.
Situation.
Yeah, that is the point I'm trying to make, Griff.
except for they were nasty personal comments, and via our end tonight it hasn't been. That's the difference.
Yeah, we've endured nasty, offensive personal comments on here tonight, and they've just been deleted. You know, but there's been no disrespecting of Ouija brothers at all. You know, and this has just been another case of he says, she says, and you've come in because people have told you, you know, we were disrespecting you. It's been a campaign tonight launched against the stream from, I presume, Ouija brothers fans, you know, all doing their silly little acts and stuff, and they've just been deleted.
Armchair Warriors at it again.
Yeah.
You see, it's just said it were hoping I could get in touch with us. I totally think if Griff wants to take that upon himself, get in touch with Rose, sort it out, you know, and get it sorted, I'm all for that. You know, I really would be all for that. And as far as I know, Griff, Rose didn't personally block you. She kind of like shut down all her social media.
She closed the lockdown. Everybody was gone.
Yeah.
Everybody was gone.
Yeah.
You know.
You see, I can personally ask to get in touch with you if you want me to. You know what I mean?
You know,
so I'm in regular contact with you.
I've got no problem with your investigation, Griff. It wasn't your investigation I'd got a problem with. It was the fact that, you know, the comments had been left up, and you know, and they crossed
Griff,
for me. They crossed an ethical line.
Griff, I'll have a word with her. I'll tell her to, if she has blocked you like so far in, then obviously I'll stand corrected. But you know, I'll have a word with her and tell her to get in touch with you personally. Yeah. I'll let her know. I'll let her know. Yeah, cool. We'll do that.
Okay, so but you know, can you just tell your fans not to come in causing hassle, because you know it ain't wanted, it ain't needed, and it will be dealt with.
We're adults.
Yeah, all they're doing, Griff, is boosting my viewing figures. So tell them thank you, because you know I'll see the positive in anything.
As I said before, hats off for you to at least showing your face, so to speak. And
you know, but I can assure you, there's been no slagging off of Ouija brothers. You know, there was nothing personally said against you or Steve.
Wasn't an intent to slag you off. It was pointing out the situation.
Yeah, we're okay to get back on topic. Right, where were we in regards to Elle's house?
Oh, Andy, can I ask you a question?
You can.
Boggles and boggarts, are they the same thing? And Yorkshire?
No, they're two different things.
All right.
Yeah, boggarts will usually live out in open. They very rarely go into somebody's house.
Right. Boggart then.
You are sorry.
What is a boggart then?
Boggart is a form of goblin that they usually live around like little mounds with holes and stuff in them. You know, very very prevalent in Lancashire.
Oh, is it Lancashire, not Yorkshire?
No, it's like Lancashire sweeping over top of North Yorkshire. Some reports of the Lincolnshire way as well.
Right.
They actually call them dobbies. It's dobbies in Yorkshire, isn't it?
Yeah, what variant of house brown is? Yeah, it's either a dobby or an ob. Yeah.
I think that's where Rowling nicked the name for dobby from.
Yeah, got the name from.
It's a Yorkshire term for an house brownie. Lost connection. It happens to the best of us. We can all talk about Marvellous Mark, England's greatest ghost hunter, if you want, lol.
Where's this Marvellous Mark come from? I thought it used to be King of Paranormal.
Well, I think we had that one earlier on. What was that? Oh. Hello. A box. Right, speaking of paranormal,
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing and nobody anywhere near the corner of my living room.
Right.
The box has just fallen over completely all on its own.
All right.
The dogs are nowhere near it. I've got one dog at the side of me and other dogs on the sofa.
Yeah, Selena is funny in the head.
Interesting. And that was just after we were talking about.
Andy,
Yeah.
are trolls anything to do with the Fae?
Yes, trolls are part of the Fey realm. Yeah.
They're more of a Norwegian Fae, ain't they?
They are, but they're not locked to that
Yeah.
area. Yeah.
Because I was reading up on a load of different leprechaun stuff the other week, and I was actually fascinated to read that leprechauns originated in Scotland and not Ireland, and that totally fascinated me. You know,
Yeah.
because everybody immediately associates leprechauns with Ireland, but apparently they originated in Scotland.
Well, they're just like us. They move around,
Yeah.
you know.
I
They
read
do.
a really good book. It's literally, it's got A to Z guide of like all the fae from around the world. It's really interesting. It tells you the name. Hang on, let me tell you what it tells you. It tells you the name, the land of origin, any other origins, any other names, what their element is, their appearance and the temperament, what time they're most active, what the law is, Lore, law, where to find them, how to contact them, what magical and ritual help they can give you.
Sounds interesting, Kat.
It's that Witch's Guide to Fairy Folk. It's really good. Like I
You'll have
said,
to fetch it over.
I will. There's some really
I'd love
useful
to.
info in it.
Hang on, I'm trying to find that comment John just made. Have you ever investigated the boggart at Horbury? I think it is, Andy.
I haven't. No. To be honest, I ain't done no boggart investigation yet, and I want to. It's just something I ain't a chance to get around to doing yet.
So is a boggart like an homeless house brownie?
No, it's just a goblin. It's just
So
a variant.
it's more goblin than brownie.
Yeah. They're a little. They're a little bit unseelie, a little bit sealy. They're a bit in between.
Yeah, land of origin, Scotland. Other names: hobgoblins, goblins, goblins, the bogeyman, boogies, padfoot, boggans, hobbers, gobs, and blobs. Blobs.
Nicky says my Irish ex-partner saw a banshee when he was a child sitting on his wall. The baby next door then passed away. Was it screaming, Nicky? Because technically, if it was a banshee, it should have been screaming. Who can answer this? In many shops I go down, aisles and things fly off shelves all the time. I am fed up with it. Stop shoplifting then, Selena.
Selena, we get that regular in Tesco. One day, a box of 50 bloody tea bags flew off shelf at us.
It wasn't 50, but about 500.
What were you wasn't you, weren't it?
That massive box of tea bags that you've still got in cupboard.
Yeah, we bought it.
Massive box of tea bags. We weren't even anywhere near it, were we? We were just like,
Now it just
flew
come
off
flying off shelf.
stack. Humongous box of tea bags. Okay. Oh, it says here, the boggart is a male dwarf fairy with a squat and distorted form. He is a cousin of the friendly house brownie, but his intentions are very different. Whereas a brownie will adopt a home for the joy of offering his help and mutual support, a boggart will adopt a house just for the sheer delight of destroying things. They are very ill-tempered and greedy. The boggart is synonymous, this is the law,
Sounds like Kaya.
boggart is synonymous with the more general term hobgoblin. He especially loves to eat smooth wood and can consume a home just like a termite or carpenter ant. A complete exorcism is best tack to take should you discover a boggart in your home.
Oh god, that in itself has just told me that book's a load of bollocks. Exorcism.
Oh.
In that kind of exorcism. It's just terminology.
Oh, right.
Specified to torment children, and their favourite ways of doing this are to take their food from them and nearly smother them at night. In northern England, the boggart is known as a padfoot or hobgoblin and enjoys frightening travellers and disrupting households. He's
Yeah,
also
I know.
poisonous to the touch. The following poem by Mark Shapiro entitled The Wee Little
Please don't
Hobgoblin.
read the poem.
I won't, some the havoc they can wreak on a happy home.
You see, I know hobgoblins and boggarts as two different things. Because obs are much rarer. From what
I'll tell you what I've read of hobgoblins, Andy, and you can tell me if it's right or wrong. I've read they are similar to house brownies in the fact they like to do things.
Yes.
But I've been told that if you in any way reward them for it, they get even more offended than a brownie and will simply leave.
Right.
That was what I was reading on them last week.
Well, that's
Pretty
more
much,
this
yeah.
is secret.
But apparently, if you can get a hobgoblin on the side, unlike a brownie or a boggart, they will work with you, especially if you practice witchcraft.
Yeah, I
To
read
be a
that they'll cooperate, but if you reward them in any way, they get offended by it.
Yeah. But what they do is that they like to bring karma on other people. That's their main job. They are the karma bringers.
Right. Now then, that's just a name, that's just a nickname because there is another section here, Andy, that is just for hobgoblins.
Right.
And the land of origin is England. Other origins are Germany, where they're also called gobelins. It's goblins, but spelt with
Yeah.
Gelins.
Yeah.
And they've got some unusual names. Yeah. So there is a separate. Yeah. How to contact? Not advised.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Mm.
See you later,
Yeah.
Rose.
So a lot of it is just the nicknames that they've been given in different areas.
Yeah.
Well, I can confirm that does happen because, like, I've seen other countries calling gnomes pixies.
Yeah.
You know, and some depictions in art show, you know, other ones with other names attached to them and stuff. And like, we get a bit confused. We're like, what?
And I think the Cornish consider pixies like house brownies, don't they?
To be honest, from descriptions I've read, they're more elvish.
I think that's so confusing, isn't it? Because different areas all give them such different names, and then
Yeah.
it's like, but then you'll have like different types of pixies, different types of fairies.
Yeah, there's all subcategories, isn't there?
Yeah, and it's so. I mean, it's like heather pixies.
I like leather fairies.
They're one of their nicknames is more sprites, but then you've got sprites. So it's like, oh. But yes, I will bring this book over.
Yeah, cool.
It's like we said though other week. Not every single word you read in every single book is going to be right anyway. But there is some interesting stuff in it. But I found it interesting just how many different countries, like you were saying, Brett, had all these different beings.
Okay, hang on. Griff's come back.
All right.
Okay, so I
I'm
scrolled
just nipping
back.
off while you sort that bit.
Okay, so I scrolled back and Kat was going in hard on us, presuming what we actually think about those. I agree with the comments, but I have just listened back. We can monetize the people. What's he mean, monetize the people?
I told you what I said, Griff. I'm Lily bitch full of tricks. What do you mean, Montrose people?
I will go and sort that, but don't presume what people believe. Yeah, no, Griff, I've got no argument with you at all over that. Like I say, the only thing I don't like, and I think crossed the line, was the bit about not sorting out the personal attacks on Rose. I've got no problem with what conclusion you come to in any investigation, because I believe everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Like I say, I've given my own opinion on East Drive tonight, and the fact I don't believe 90% of what 99% of what was on there, but that is just my personal opinion. And that I hadn't got a problem with. I'd got a problem with the personal attacks issue. That was the only thing I'd got a problem with. But I do appreciate you coming in and sorting it out. Kat?
Yes.
Are you back, Andy?
I'm back.
I don't know. Let's get back onto the topic of what we were talking about anyway, because Griff said he's going to sort it out.
Cool.
And that's all we can ask for. And thanks for coming in, Griff, and not being a twat or anything. Yeah, but
Sorry, I was just lost it there for a minute.
A lot do. So that I was reading about hobgoblins. Does it sound about right?
Yeah, for the most part. Apparently really rare though. Really rare.
Well, I don't read anything about our rares. It was basically just an article on what hobgoblins were. It didn't actually say whether they were rare or not. It just said, how to identify one.
Yeah.
Appearance of the hobgoblin, appearance and temperament. The appearance of the hobgoblin can vary greatly, especially as it is used now as a generic term for an evil fairy. Some appear only as dark blobs, and others as mean-looking elves.
Well, they're neither fairies or elves, are they?
Not really. They're their own thing, aren't they?
The thing is, if you delve into fire, there's hundreds of the buggers in there. Hundreds and hundreds of different types of them. And then like
Absolutely.
you say, you get into the problem of regional names and descriptions of them. It probably bleeds over into the thousands, name-wise.
I'll tell you what I found the other day, and so I've had for ages and ages information on pookies, and I must.
Really?
Yeah, and I brought it and showed you it ages ago without realising what it was. It were on some. Well, it's not. I didn't just show you that one thing, but it were on some information that I brought and showed you ages ago, and we wouldn't have taken notice of just that one particular thing.
Yeah.
But it were just. I was just looking at some other day, and it's a sheet that I got from Dev's shop. It's like an A4 sheet, double-sided, and it's like laminated, and it's got like there's like a list of fae on both.
Right.
Some stuff that some of these things that she used to sell, and I brought it to show you once when I got it.
Yeah.
Verno is claiming Marvellous Mark is the fairy killer.
The fairy killer?
Apparently.
What?
Oh, Verno, you tried in some dangerous ground there.
You don't want to be saying that too loud. Oh, what's going on now? Oh, so for flip's sake.
There we go, it's all done now. I'm not scared of fairies. That's not nice, Mike. Do you think Mr. Vernon could be putting himself at risk by saying things like this?
It depends on what his vibrational output is while he's saying it.
I think it probably depends how close Cara is while he's saying that as well. Oh,
If
dear.
he's sat joking and smiling, then probably not. If he's being serious, then probably is.
Yeah, it would probably depend how much alcohol he's had while he's saying it too. Naughty, naughty, naughty.
Say hello to Julie.
If he carries on, we'll have to confiscate his cucumbers.
Yeah.
Oh, Ma, I was going to give them my cucumbers, but they didn't grow, unfortunately, and they were bloody gorgeous. They
Have
froze.
you found anything else apart from like honey, cucumbers, and chocolate that they like, Andy?
Why were cucumbers a part of that then, Brett?
Because Mr. Vernon's got his cucumbers all the while, so I presume there's.
No, there's no to that. It was just a joke.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Oh dear. Yeah, there's tons of stuff we know that I like. We usually our kit bag is more about offerings than equipment these days.
Is there things you could give them that don't involve you parting with your chocolate? You know, because I like my chocolate.
Yeah, of course. You know, there's many things. Obviously, they all like a little bit of something different, but universally, cheese is the big one.
Really?
Yeah, cheese. They love it.
Do you think that's
And I've
because it's
actually,
dairy? Because if you listen to a lot of the folklore tales, the fairy are all, well, particularly fairies, are always associated with turning your milk sour and stuff if you pee them off.
yeah,
So do you think
yeah,
there is
yeah,
a
yeah.
strong like dairy connection there?
Oh yeah, massively strong. They always say if you're offering milk, go for full fat, you know, cream
Yeah.
style milk and stuff like that. We've actually had them say of at Spirit Box in a session, cheese is good.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's a terminology that we always say to each other. Jamie sometimes drops it in my inbox. Cheese is good. Oh dear.
Oh, God, they're all talking about cucumbers now.
Oh dear. But yeah, we found that they get really excited about pizza. You know, you've got the bread part, the
Yeah.
tomato part, and the cheese part,
Yeah.
and it sends them a little bit psychotically ravenous for it.
Yeah.
Well, you've got it all there, ain't you? You've got the grain in the bread, the dairy in the cheese, and
Yeah,
then the tomato and stuff
yeah, the fruit of the
for the
tomato.
fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cake's good, Brett. They
What's
like
good?
cake.
Cake.
Cake. Yeah, they like cake.
Why do they like all the things I'd rather not part with?
I know, this is it, innit?
They like tobacco as well, don't they? Is it the gnomes that like tobacco?
Leprechauns.
Leprechauns. I always get that one mixed up, don't I? Gnomes like.
Sometimes though, you'll find that others ask for an odd object like that, you know, so they can trade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to get myself some little mini notebooks because I have my A5. No, not A5. My notebooks, whatever size they are, and they're all right for keeping all my notes in. But they're too big to be carrying loads of them about, so I thought I'm going to get myself some little ones so I can have them with me all the time and section them off because I wrote all this down the other week, didn't I, Andy? I went through a list
You did, yeah.
of Becky and Andy, you know, which feel like what. Because it's all right me leaving stuff out, but if I'm not 100% sure who's here, because I have a few of them coming in, I have a couple that are here, I think, all the time. But, oh, Andy, that reminds me. You know that day when Killis were here?
Yeah.
there's another one here as well.
Okay.
His name starts with a P, and it's something like Polis. Is that a name
Right.
familiar to you?
Kind of. It's very similar to a name I've got around him as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Can we keep this on topic for everybody else? Because nobody's going to know what
Okay,
you're on about
I just
otherwise.
have to ask. Sorry. Right, I'll just tell everybody. So, it's a couple of months ago now. I just decided I'd get my bear out, and I've got an
Do we
SLS.
really want to know this, Cat?
Yeah, let's go. Shut up, yo.
Yeah, go on.
Set them up with any twigs, and I'd just do a little session, see if anybody. Well, I had a feeling that somebody were around. So I got the bear out and did my usual questions, process of elimination, because the bear started triggering straight away. Went through my process of elimination because I have two that here all the time. We found them in a pub that I used to investigate quite a lot. Two pixies, Tingleberry, and what we believe is his brother Samian. They were really active on SLS. Me, Andy, and Becky were there. They were brilliant, weren't they, on SLS, Andy?
Yeah.
Anyway, it wasn't them. So I found out that it was one of Andy and Becky's friends.
Mm-hmm.
So Andy on the phone, because I couldn't remember, I can never remember all the names because Andy and Becky have that many. So Andy would go, while on the phone, Andy would going through a list of the ones that come that visit them, and as soon as he got to the right name, the bear went absolutely mental, didn't it? And it was a gnome called Killis. So anyway, I put the phone down, got spirit box out, and did a session with a spirit box, and it's quite a good session. I'm just annotating it at the moment to put on YouTube. And like I say, this other one comes through. It's Polis, which obviously Andy's just telling me that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it also, in the spirit box, talks about David's house. Andy was just on his way to David's.
When Kat phoned me, I were in nature reserve on way down to do a individual meditation experience.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I were on my way to go and talk to them.
All right.
Yeah. Which were really interesting.
Mm. And then, unfortunately, I had one of my silly do's. I had a bloody sleep attack. So the spirit box is telling me to wake up, which is, I thought, quite funny. And I found out it's them that are making my dog bark, because it's going, bad dog, bad dog.
Sounds just like a gnome.
Yeah, when Pippin walks past, he's like, bad dog. Oh, poor little thing. But anyway, so after the session had finished, I think I'd had a bit of a sleep, and I put the bear back on, silent, nothing. And then you messaged me, didn't you?
Yeah, saying what time roughly did they stop?
Yeah, and I said it'll have been about, 4 o'clock, something like that.
And then that's about time my bear started alarming back in nature reserve.
10:04, we're back with Andy.
There you go.
So they do take interest in people that hang around us as well. They tend to go and visit sometimes.
So who's Polis?
It's another one from that clan down there.
Ah, right.
Do you think that there are certain Fae who will go out and do things for you, Andy? You know,
In what respect do things?
could you end up with like a little Fae assassin type thing?
Well, that'd be your hobgoblin if you can get on one.
Would it?
That's what I was trying to say earlier. Yeah. Basically, that's. And I'm about to find out if somebody's dealing with one. You know.
Just asking for a friend. How do you attract one?
There's certain rituals you can do, but apparently you've got to come across one in whatever area it's in,
Right.
and sort of bridge contact and invite it home. That's how you get it. And good thing is, it'll not affect you having an house brownie if you've got one.
Oh, good. Lindsay says, can elementals hold grudges towards a certain type of person, and can
Oh,
you
yeah.
gain their forgiveness?
Oh yes, they can hold a grudge. What you'll right? I want to explain this in a way where you might understand. So, in witchcraft and Wicca and stuff like that, you talk about threefold, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you upset a fae, it's more like tenfold that's going to
Right.
come back,
Yeah.
right? And you know, there is folklore stories out there where they have been upset by somebody that much that the person has ended up dying.
Right.
So
Yeah.
there's karma being brought back on them. Obviously, that's stories. We don't know how much we can believe of stories, you know.
Yeah.
But in gaining forgiveness, that's down to individual one that you have upset.
Right.
You know, I think you could make it right, but it'd take a hell of a lot of abundance on offerings to make it right.
And how would you find out what they wanted for you to make it right? Would you have to like ask in some way?
You'd have to, yeah, you could obviously if you go down paranormal route like we do with it, you can ask, you know, try and find answers that way. You know, you could maybe start, you know, if you were getting like an attack via illness or whatever, you might start getting better. You know, you might get your answer that way because that's how they'd have to do it back in olden days. You know, is read changes if you would.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Nikki said, I've had so much bad luck in my life, I used to think I was cursed. Is that possible? I personally believe you can have things directed at you which can make it appear that you're cursed.
I believe so.
Andy?
I believe you can have negativity sent your way.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see, it depends on what you're considering as a curse, isn't it? You know.
That's what I mean, is sort of like, I believe you can have negativity sent your way. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Right, moving on to a more cheerful comment. I can use Cara to harm people. She has scratched people when asked. Not that I've asked, wink wink.
So, Mark, this is a question for you. Can you send Cara to visit people then? Type quickly.
Yeah, it takes about 10-15 seconds for it to catch up. That's the problem, Kat.
Well, like I say, I'm talking on my laptop. I'm watching chat on my phone.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Which is sometimes my phone's a bit delayed, so I don't know.
Lindsay says, me personally believe in karma. If you put negativity out there, you get it back. Mark says he can, Kat.
Interesting.
He says he can send Cara to scratch people.
So, would you be able to send her to me now, so that I could take a picture of her, and then post it somewhere for like everybody in the chat to see? But like, if you sent it to me now, and I could get photographic evidence and post it, if I sent it to Brett for him to post on his page or whatever, so that everybody who's in the chat now could like see it tomorrow or whatever? Is that possible?
I mean, half on it would be up to her as well.
Well, yeah.
You know, if she agreed to it or not, you know, I think...
If she'd be willing to do that.
Stephen,
I just think she's fascinating. I think she's beautiful in her own way.
Stephen says, you mentioned they like tobacco. What about cigarettes?
Yeah. Hot leprechauns, either's good. They actually demand that you roll a cigarette up for them as well.
Oh, do they?
We've had that before. Yeah. First ever one that we ever got at Spirit Box, they hated me. They were calling me stupid, they were saying we're going to fight him, and because I didn't hear that they wanted a cigarette. And when Becky were like, oh, I'll get you some tobacco, and they were like, roll it, put it in your hand, and she had to offer it out in her hand, stretched out. Really demanding little buggers.
Mark says he could do that, Cat, but she would not show herself to you. She only shows herself to him.
Right, okay. That's fair enough. But then how are we able to see her on videos? Such as like the video that Andy showed us tonight?
That's a good question.
I think...
These are just general questions, Mark. I'm not specifically saying do it. I'm just general question because I'm fascinated by Cara.
I could probably answer on that lines. What we've got to remember is Mark spent 5 years gaining Cara's trust in a cellar. Yeah. She went to.
He lived in a cellar for 5 years.
He used to frequent this cellar where we met her, for 5 years,
Right,
going
okay.
a hell of a lot.
That's a lot of tissues.
And obviously they gained trust with each other over a long time, you know. And although I can confirm that I have seen her with my own eyes, when we first ever met Mark, a week later she appeared in the living room and I saw her a couple of times. I got a visual of her in car on way to Rose's house when we were internally speaking to her to continue showing herself in front of us on cameras and stuff. But I've only ever caught one anomaly which looks similar to her on my camera.
Yeah.
I've still got it. It's when Mark Vernon meets... Oh no, it isn't at all, is it?
Mark says it's because he's done a deal with her.
He has.
Yeah.
And it's not what you'd expect either. It was really nice.
Yeah.
Right, can you remember, Kat, when we had Rat Cage?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Verno come over here to investigate an old house that we used to frequent up near Barnsley Hospital.
Yeah.
And I had a camera pointing over that way when Mark was out there, and I did get the little blurred ball come across there.
Yeah.
And that were in broad daylight, no external light sources, and it was there, and we come to the conclusion that it could have been Cara on my camera. But that were only one instance, you know. And he asks her sometimes to show up on mine. He does regularly ask her.
Yeah.
But we always work in night vision. Now, again, connecting up with what I said, that the Fae don't seem right keen on night vision.
Okay.
Like, they don't resonate well with infrared. I think they're at opposite end of spectrum, personally.
So we'd have to use ultra. So would they show up better on the
Ultraviolet.
full spectrum then?
I
Do
think
you
so,
think?
yeah. Yes.
Or would you work better in ultraviolet?
Well, yeah, you know, that sort of spectrum. But with Mark's captures, they are 100% purely just on a camcorder in colour with no external light sources.
Yeah.
Right.
And, you know, you cannot capture dust that way.
No.
It's impossible. It's not on visible spectrum.
You can absolutely tell it's not dust. You can tell by...
It's like on a phone camera, it's usually with torch on a light source that picks them up. You know, same with infrared, it's through infrared light that picks them up.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I can sit here now with a colour camcorder,
Yeah.
filming for the next 40 hours and never get a grain of dust on it, 'cause it doesn't work like that way, you know. And that's how he gets her, and she does it over multiple branded cameras as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's not always just the one camera. She's done it over. I mean, he's always changing bloody cameras. You know, he's just bought a 4K.
He's just said there I can film her on any camera.
Yeah, I have seen that happen. It's over multiple cameras, and I have seen a live on LCD screen as well. Yeah, so you know, I think you know, to be absolutely fair, one day hopefully she might trust us enough to do it on ours.
Yeah.
You know, when we're not filming in infrared. Hopefully one day, you know, and that's what I've always hoped for.
Yeah.
But to just go to somebody that she don't know properly yet and show up, I think would be a bit strange.
So the fact that she showed up on your video, is that purely because of
well,
what
they weren't our clips; they were Verno's clips. Them.
Ah, sorry.
If you notice, all our filming were in infrared. And then when we cut to showing Cara, they were all colour. It were Verno's static cameras he'd got set up. He got one sat on back at settee, and then he got one sat in windowsill near a chair at where I was. And that they were Verno's cameras, because that's how he films, he does statics.
Yes, I remember you saying you were sending me clips over.
Yeah.
How do you think, Andy, the Fae would react to a Wiccan familiar?
Oh, fine. Absolutely fine, mate. And you can get them in the same room interacting. Yeah.
Really interesting. I just find it so beautiful how she moves. It's mesmerising.
Yeah. And I have seen there is a guy out there that has got some CCTV footage of a similar sort of look.
Really?
And that is in infrared, that one, obviously, because it's CCTV. I stumbled across it while I was looking through some stuff a few weeks ago, and it comes in near enough exactly the same sort of movement across his near outside porch.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that looks exactly like her. Big as well, you know, similar big. But yeah.
See, that for me is what totally kills the argument that she's dust.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest with you, whenever I see clips of her, she always makes me think of a great white shark.
On the prowl.
She's just got that cruising movement about her. When you see great whites on these videos where they're just cruising around, just ready to strike, sort of thing. She always reminds me of a great white shark. She really.
And you know what's
not
interesting
in shape,
to me as well?
In the movement.
Yeah. What's interesting to me as well is that she actually has got a dimension in video, and you can see her pass behind objects.
Yeah.
You know, like when she goes under the coffee table or by its side on it, she goes actually behind it.
Yeah.
You know, which just means it's not up front at lens.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. You know, but there is no way you would catch dust moving like that in exactly the same fashion and looking that big all the while. It just wouldn't happen.
There's one video of Mark's where there's actually two, isn't there? There's Cara and there's a dark one. Can you remember which video it is, Andy, that I'm on about? And they're up near the ceiling. Mark, do you know which video I'm on about?
There's one where he's sitting in a room talking to a bloke where two of them appear.
That might be.
Yeah.
That's it, Brett. Yeah. He's on the left-hand side and the bloke's on the right-hand side, and there's two, and obviously Cara's the lighter one, and then there's this dark one as well, and it was like, wow, there's two.
But yeah, he's always said that there were two others when he met her. In total, there were three on them, all in that cellar, that were like, because they said they were plotting to kill him at one point.
Nice.
But yeah, there's always two others in background that are a little bit quieter than her.
It weren't on. It weren't on the TV, Stephen. That when you saw it, that was a moving in front of the TV. That's how big
Yeah.
she is. She weren't actually in the TV. If you look, she was moving in front of the TV, and she actually
Yeah,
moves.
that's why
She actually moves forward to
yeah,
the bear.
I do a zoom in clip so you can see her a bit better, you know.
Cara turns black when angry.
Right. So who's the other one, Mark? On the video where you're talking to that gentleman, there's Cara, and then there's another one at the side of her that's black. So that other black one can't be Cara because Cara's there in her normal colour. So obviously but she can't be like white and black at the same time because there's two spheres.
Has Cat got a sex toy out? Because I can hear some really strange background noises.
I can hear some sort of
Dog.
popping noise, some sort of air pressure going
Yeah,
on
it
there.
sounded like something being pumped quite vigorously.
It's picking scratching carpet.
Oh dear.
I was offered to go somewhere tonight and get a few toys out, but I thought I'd sack that one off and
TMI.
You are? You're offered
TMI.
what?
I said I was offered to go somewhere tonight and get a few toys out, but I sacked that one off and thought I'd join you guys instead.
All right.
Yeah,
Interesting.
if you look at Mark's channel, Sam, you'll see on all the videos, she's always that size. That size she appeared at Elle's house, that ain't like her being big. That is how she always looks. She's absolutely huge.
Which again proves her validity, doesn't it? The
Yeah.
fact that she never changes.
But the thing is, not 9 times out of 10, when you see dust on cameras, they're just tiny little things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I captured one like that at Brand Castle. It was pink.
Pink one.
It was the
Yeah.
It was the Barbie version.
Yes, and I've got video of it, and I've got some still photos from the video. It's in one of my albums somewhere on Facebook from when we went to Romania.
I call the other two Jonathan and Tyrone. He comes up with some brilliant names. They won't give me their real names just yet. It was it was them two who attacked me. It's taken me 9 years to get friendly with them. Laura's still waiting for him to send her a ghost, apparently. But see, people don't realise, especially where the Fae are concerned, how much time you have to invest into these things to, build the relationships up with them. It ain't an overnight thing, is it?
No. I think Tingleberry, the one that one of the two that came back here with me from the pub, he was quite forthcoming anyway. He was really chatty, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I'd have refused to communicate with anybody called Tingleberry.
Oh, why? It's proper awesome name.
You think?
Oh,
And when we heard it, and I goes, you what? I'm at Boxcat. I goes, you what?
You'd have to flag every one of your YouTube videos as made for kids.
no.
Well, it went tingle. It's beautiful. Right, fair enough.
We couldn't say anything to that, could we? We're like,
No, we just looked at each other and said, all right.
I'd have been in stitches.
we kind of were.
Tingleberry.
But unfortunately, we weren't filming, and it was like, no way. Some of the best footage we'd ever had. And it was like, oh my god, why aren't we filming? But don't you find that always happens?
Yeah, some don't like being filmed.
We just didn't get camera out, did we? We just...
Do you think infrared's harmful to a Mandy, or do you just think it's the spectrum that they show, on it don't suit them?
I don't know. I can't quite get to the bottom on it. I've tried explaining it to them in great detail,
Mm-hmm.
and they just don't get it. They're just not getting it at all. But then when I heard
have you
about
tried the rainbow route? Explaining why rainbows are different colours.
no,
Try that. Because that's more of a
right?
natural way of describing it, innit?
Well, yeah, I suppose. But I learnt about some people that you know, like we're doing research into this kind of stuff. Actually, had the film removed off their eyes, you know, so they could see in ultraviolet. And obviously, it's risky because it's a filter in it for the
Yeah,
sun.
yeah.
You'd have to go about wearing sunglasses all the time, but that'd be fine for me.
I was going to say that'd work out
Um,
great for you.
it would. But apparently, there's butterflies and stuff that with certain markings that you can only see in ultraviolet and stuff.
Well, bumblebees see in ultraviolet.
Yeah.
That is
It's
how they
like
locate flowers. Flowers have got
it's
ultraviolet colours on them that direct the bees to the
exactly
centre.
exactly. It's more nature based in it, so I'm thinking there might be something to it.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, if you've had your cataracts removed, you can see certain stuff as well.
All right.
So maybe we should get his cataract lens removed. Maybe that's what we need.
I don't know whether I want to go to the extreme of having layers of my eyeballs removed, though.
You don't have to have them laser deep, because they're just like slicing, put lens out, and there you go.
Yeah, but it's still a layer of your eye.
Yeah.
If I were brave, I'd have it done. But
You know,
I'm
if
not
I'd got
that brave.
cataracts, fair enough. But I don't really want to say cut it out. You know, because I want to see the fay.
Oh, I do.
Could you imagine going to the doctors and saying that? You'd be in the nut house within minutes.
I want my eyes taken off so I can see fairies.
I want a layer of my eyes
Yep.
slicing off so I can see the fay. Could you imagine?
Oh.
Could you imagine how the medical profession's going to react to that?
In this day and age, there'll be some tattoo parlour that'll do it for you.
Probably.
I really wouldn't want to trust a tattooist to be slicing my eyes up. You know, they specialise in needles, cat, not eye surgery.
Hey, no, they do all sorts these days.
Body
I don't
modders,
think they've got
yeah,
to the level of eye operations, though.
They do. No, they tattoo them and all sorts, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah, you're fine. You can share the links to mine. Lindsay's fine. You'll have to ask Andy if you're okay to share his.
Share what?
Your Facebook link to your group.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, it's fine to do mine. I thought it was Yorkshire-ish. What about your accent? It's Yorkshire-ish.
All right, yeah.
It's Barnsley, Julie. They've got an accent all of their own in Barnsley. And even me coming from the Midlands can tell a Barnsley accent. It is subtly different to the rest of Yorkshire.
Definitely.
I'm actually getting to the point now where I can distinguish certain accents. Because when I first got up here, you all sounded the same to me. But
Really?
now, yeah. And I suppose it's like, anybody from up here, if they went down to Birmingham or to the Black Country where I'm from, they think we'd all got the same accent, but we ain't. We've got very distinctive accents. But when I first came up here, which was 4 years ago now,
Yeah.
everybody sounded the same. They spoke to me and I thought, yeah, they're from Yorkshire. I couldn't have said they're from Barnsley or they're from Sheffield or they're from Leeds. Now I can distinguish them.
You speak
Right.
fast. To say you're from Midlands.
I speak fast.
Yeah, because normally people who are from like Birmingham and down that way, they normally speak quite slow.
Do you think now we
Yeah.
always say that about like Yorkshire accents that they're slower than us?
Yeah.
So that's right, isn't it? Because yeah, a lot of them do. A lot of them do talk like that. They do, Cat. A lot of them do.
I think you speak really fast.
I can see Manchester's another one. I can, I'll know if they're the other, the wrong side of the Pennines. I can always recognise that as well.
I do like that about you, Brett. You've got that bit right.
I always say to Lancashire people just to piss them off, you live on the wrong side of the Pennines.
You say Yorkshire is God wrong. How can you get that? You know, that is
Verno's comment. Two good things come from Stoke: beautiful women and good rugby players. Which position do you play? Oh, all positions, my kind of girl. I like it.
Good night, Sam. You make sure you get home safely.
Good night, Sam.
As at Rachel's has been listening from Rachel's. Say good night to Rempod Rach for us. Can't believe she calls her mate that, Rempod Rachel.
Brilliant.
But yeah, I think I'm going to start looking for an hobgoblin. I've got a job for it.
I've got a job for it. Oh dear. I will admit I've been searching as well.
I want an hobgoblin friend. I'm going to do some research tomorrow on how to get one. And then it's on a trip across the Pennines.
Get ready, Jamie.
Good night, Sam.
I thought Jamie might have been in tonight, actually.
On a Friday night, are you kidding? There'll be 3 sheets to the wind bar now.
Yeah, true. Silly me.
Same in Wakefield.
Do you know what I'm about to eat? Irish cream fancies.
Yeah.
No, so it's like
Dear.
Yeah.
Bailey's version of
I
a...
don't like Bailey's, I call it phlegm in a bottle.
Oh.
Well, it's got exactly the same consistency, Andy. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it's a bit like something else, isn't it?
Is it?
Oh.
Well, if it is, they need to go to the
Dear.
doctors.
Oh dear.
Oh, that's like phlegm, isn't it?
Spice Central.
Salt.
Is Wakefield known as Spice Central or Stoke? I don't know which one they're on about now.
Hey, we've got a spare share here. Bloody terrible, we are.
See, we're in a complete straight line because, you know, we've got ETA, then me, then you, Andy. We're in like a line, and then Kat, I think's the next one up in it, or
Yeah.
there's Ellen and ETA, then there's me and Jace, then there's you, Andy, and then there's Kat.
Mhm.
We could all cover Tornado Alley, UFO Alley between us.
Yeah.
We could do a UFO watch one of the nights and all link up on a live.
That'd be awesome.
For me, I think. Yeah, I think Mark would probably be before me.
Would he? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Wakefield.
Yeah, he would. Yeah.
Wakefield, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a nice section of the Pennines covered there. We could do like a UFO watch one night and all link up on a channel. Do a live UFO watch.
Yeah.
Middle of summer. That'd
Yeah.
be great.
That would be actually, yeah, because I could go up to Castle Hill at Huddersfield and have a really good view from there.
You know, we could cover a nice
Where
area.
we're literally 25 minutes away from Woodhead Pass.
We could go and do it from the top of Uber stand.
That's a really good... Oh!
It does, doesn't it, John? It sounds like a brilliant... You know, we'd cover a nice section of the Pennines doing that.
Has anybody seen that video on YouTube?
Well, narrow it down a bit, Kat.
That blue planet that was spotted outside at Moon in Australia.
I saw your post about it the other day. Did they? I thought it was a joke. Did they actually see a blue planet?
Apparently so. Well, you won't have seen it, Brett. Because I didn't know you then. But about 2 years ago. I went to Santa Susana in Spain with my mum, and just set back from the beach, the actual town itself, the original town is quite hilly, and there's a little land train that takes you around the houses, the old hillside, and it was an old fort. Lovely little village. And it runs till about 9:30 at night, so it's really scenic. Me and my mum had gone on last one at night, and we've got a lovely view over Bay. And as we were going up, I was just sort of like, looking over town, what have you, looking at stars, beautiful clear sky. I spotted this blue star, bright blue star in the sky. You remember it, don't you, Andy?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, clear blue. And I sent it all over the place. I even got in touch with Jodrell Bank at the time. Nobody seemed to know where it was.
All right.
Sent it to blooming, for God's sake, what's his name? I sent it to a few blooming big channels on YouTube trying to, look what I found, and didn't get anywhere with it. And now that's been found, and it's exactly the same blue.
All right. See, a lot of stars are blue anyway because, believe it or not, blue stars actually burn hotter than red ones.
Yes.
And if you look in the sky at night, you'll notice stars are either red or blue.
Yeah,
And
I know.
the blue ones are actually burning hotter.
But to see them like that with the naked eye, it's really, really blue. Like the button, it's bluer than the KH on my name. It's so blue, and it's really bright. Oh, and it's quite big as well, isn't it, Andy?
Yeah, pretty big.
Mr. Vernon says he'd like to go to Cannock Chase. Now, I come from the Midlands. I've been to Cannock Chase hundreds of times. The car parks on a night are brilliant. Well worth going to Cannock Chase on a night to the car parks.
I've heard of it, but
never actually been to Cannock Chase for paranormal reasons, though. But Cannock Chase is famous for black-eyed kids. I'm not 100% sure how I feel about black-eyed kids because I think they're probably fey, if I'm honest.
Isn't it quite prevalent for werewolf sightings as well?
Yeah, and there's a lot of big cat sightings. Now, funnily enough, I did a video last month on big cats in the UK.
Yeah.
2 people in the chat had actually had big cat experiences.
Really?
One of them was Sam. Sam came face to face with a leopard that had escaped from somewhere, and ended up with all the police in the garden, and they said the neighbours was having a field day. And the other one was Joanne, and she encountered a lynx on Cannock Chase.
Really?
There's meant to be one over East Coast. A big cat.
Hi, Lee.
Hey, Lee.
The thing was, in 1976, when the Dangerous Wild Animals Act came out, there was a lot of them dumped. And believe it or not, a lot of them were dumped. The main dumping areas, because I've watched a few videos on people who've actually kept big cats. And there was a bloke who used to live where I live named Lou Fowley. He's quite famous. And he used to drive around with his lions on the roof of his... But the majority of them, believe it or not, were dumped either at Cannock Chase or the Yorkshire Moors.
Yeah.
That was the 2 main dumping grounds for them. But I couldn't believe the night I did that big cat video, 2 people in the chat had actually had big cat sightings. Sam will tell you about hers. She even followed it. She went to feed the... She went outside because she could hear something, got the torch out, and it was eating the cat's dinner outside the door.
Oh my word.
And she followed it with the torch. I'm like, Sam, I can't believe you followed a Black Panther up into a group of trees.
That's amazing.
Yeah, Sam ended up with a garden full of police. while they searched for it. But it was known to, it was a known cat. It had escaped from somewhere, and it was a black panther. And it says, the good thing I found out about that night was black panthers like brekkies.
Oh dear.
But it was Joanne and her ex-husband came face to face with one on Cannock Chase, and it basically appeared right in front of them. They went back to the Land Rover, and apparently jumped up the side of the Land Rover, and it was staring through the window at them.
Wow.
And she said, so there was no way it was a domestic cat, but she says it was definitely a lynx. And when it was reported to the police, they basically admitted that, they were having reports about it quite a lot. But there's quite a few big cats on Cannock Chase, but the most famous thing for Cannock Chase is the black-eyed kids.
Yeah.
And the cryptids, but the black-eyed kids is the one it's most known for. But see, I've often wondered is, are the werewolves actually big cats that they're mistaking for werewolves? Because if you think about it, you come across a puma on Cannock, and Cannock Chase is massive, and there's wooded areas, and then there's just a lot of flat grassy areas. It's very much like the moors, but with more trees.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, if you come across a black panther at night and you see it, you ain't expecting to see a black panther in the UK. A lot of people are going to jump to the thing of, it's a werewolf sort of thing. But I do think a lot of the werewolf sites on the Chase are actually big cats.
We could do again. You up to Fergone Tunnel at some point, Brett?
Yeah, I'd love to go up there.
Do you know what, Andy? I was just going to bloody say that.
Because it's a nice, relaxed one, isn't it? You don't have to stray too far from the car and stuff like that.
Believe it or not, Jace is badgering me. He wants to do another. Jace, of all people, wants to do another investigation. So
Definitely not Claudia though.
No. Because if lights go out, we can stay then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It ain't far away, is it?
No, it's not far at all.
But what is it? 5 minutes from your house, Andy? 5-10 minutes?
About a 10-15 minute drive, yeah.
Oh, is it that close?
Yeah. It's not that far really. But if you all want to get together and do something there, I'm up for doing it. Because like I say, it's close by. It's not too worrying for me because it's not too far from my car either.
Well, plus the fact once you're in a tunnel, it's a bit warmer as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, and if it's drizzling a bit, you're in tunnel as well,
Dry.
Yeah.
The only thing is we can't do a live, because, you can do a little one from the entrance.
Can't you get a signal inside the tunnel?
No, it completely shuts you off.
Does it?
Yeah.
We've tried, haven't we? But
Yeah.
we managed from entrance, but even then it was still a little bit
Alright.
making up.
Yeah, we could do lives from there. We could do videos from there.
Oh, definitely.
So, I want to do Uber again, because I want to find out now what was down by that cave.
I've never done Uber stand.
It came down the bank behind us. Cat and you could actually hear it. I actually heard it. And I thought it was Jason clambering down the bank being his normal clumsy self, and he was right behind me. And then he moaned that someone stabbed him in the back with a pin, and then something breathed right past me right here, and literally right behind me. And then for the rest of the time we were at the cave, it was standing to the right of me, and this thing was just radiating piss off basically at me. It was very resentful about. But all night long we kept getting number two through the spirit box constantly. And I, looking back on it now, I honestly think it was trying to tell us we were communicating with two different types of things. Because it was constantly two all the time we were there, in every single, even at the supposed satanic altars, we were getting the number 2. We moved further down the field, we got the number 2. When we went to the actual cave itself, we got the number 2. It was constantly 2 the entire time we were doing the investigation. But I just knew it weren't human, and it was standing. I couldn't see it. I just got the impression it was standing to the right of me. But Jason, as it came down, and I heard it come down the bank, and I thought it was Jason. I turned round, and he was right behind me. And as I turned round to look at him, he jumped a mile and started squeaking that someone had stabbed him in the back with a pin. And then I turned back to face the cave, and it literally went right the side of my ear roll. And I actually felt the breeze off it, and then it just stood to the right of me, and we were there for about half hour. And I thought, I can't stay here no longer, because it was just lit. Right, it weren't evil, you know. It weren't giving me the impression it was going to murder me or anything, but it just gave me the impression it was extremely resentful over the fact that, well, I don't know now if it was resentful over the fact I weren't understanding what it was trying to communicate, or if it was resentful over the fact that, you know, we were standing outside its cave. I don't know which one it was, but it was definitely resentful. I love Ubers, John, but my favourite place is Wombwell Woods. I absolutely adore Wombwell Woods.
We've not done it yet, have we? And well, I've not done it yet. We went and had a look, and then we never ended up going back, did we?
No.
We kind of forgot. We went and checked it out during afternoon, collected loads of blooming horse chestnuts, and Andy kind of forgot to put his equipment on.
Well, you know where they say you go somewhere and it's pitch black? You go into Wombwell Woods, and once you're away from all the houses and stuff and in the woods, you turn your torches off, and it is literally pitch black.
Yeah. You can't see nothing from
That's
here.
three lists that we can do that are local then, in it, that we need to do.
And Wombwell is actually famous for spirit lights. There's a lot of spirit orbs seen in the woods at Wombwell. It's famous for them.
So they're like will-o'-the-wisps then?
Yeah, it's famous for them.
Wow.
And don't forget, there's always thing as well, because we haven't been back for a few years now.
What?
You know, the college buildings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's far.
It's had a little bit of a rest, that place, now.
And I've not been there as well. ETA asked, are there 2 tunnels at Thurgoland?
Yes.
Oh. Yeah. So, there are 2 ETA.
John, I don't believe those altars at Uber Stand are satanic. I don't believe anything satanic has ever gone on there, because, as you know from the location of the altars, there is absolutely no way anyone would perform a satanic ritual where those altars are situated. I do believe that there's a lot of solo pagan and Wicca rituals go on there, and I also believe there's been a lot of earth magic practice there. There used to be a lot of things like fairies hanging in the trees and ribbons tied to the trees, but they've removed them all. You know, but certain people decided to declare they were satanic altars, but from their locations alone, take it from me, they are not satanic altars. Not by a long shot.
Yeah, John, that's the one's absolutely fantastic location. It was them college buildings there that
College buildings, you mean?
Yeah, the ones that went with. It's ones that started it all off for us.
Yes. Oh yes. Oh yes, Andy. Yes. Need to go back there.
That's quite local. I mean, all Wentworth connections quite prevalent because like Uber Stand's part of Wentworth connection, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got Uber Stand, you've got the Salt and Pepper Tower.
Yeah.
They call them the Salt and Pepper Towers as Wentworth, and the one in Rockingham. I think Rockingham is the Salt Tower and Uber is the Pepper Tower. And then you've also got the Needle's Eye in Wentworth as well.
Needle's Eye, yeah. And then you've got up here, like literally next to us, about a stone throw away, you've got Wentworth's cousin that built massive fort along top of our road here, and you've got one remaining tower which is in Kingwell Woods. And you get some interesting noises up there at night as well.
Elsa's Lee is the investigation that Andy did recently. The video's on Andy's channel. It was premiered earlier on, and we just did the discussion of the video on here after. So later on, if you want to look on Andy's channel, you'll see his investigation of El's house with John Vernon. and some very good shots of Cara on there.
Mark Vernon.
Well, what did I say?
John.
Said John
Oh,
Byrne.
did I? So I used to work with a
Aye.
John Vernon, that's why, sorry.
Oh, did you right?
Yeah. Sorry, Mark. That's why I said John. I used to work with a John Vernon.
I'll be back in a minute.
Okie coke. The thing is, Lindsay, I always say, I do believe a lot of the time that the frame of mind you go with, it tends to influence what you get. I don't think just because you go with a positive attitude, you'll keep all negativity away. But I do think if you go with a positive attitude, you get more positive results. And I do believe if you go, with a negative attitude, you're more liable of attracting something negative. What's your opinions on that, Andy?
Yeah, no, I agree. You see, because we've been in like a bog standard paranormal investigation team that were like ghost hunting and stuff, and relatively just like being open to anything that come. And back
Yeah.
in the day, that was the old Desmonds as well,
Yeah.
And I'm not pulling anybody down, but every single thing were always like negative, and that's how it used to be relayed to us, and we were only filming at the time, and a lot on it were, oh, I've been grabbed, I've been touched, and freaking out and jumping and running, and you used to get a negative air come around it and
Yeah,
feeling.
I honestly believe you find what you seek, Andy. I really do. Not
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
time, but I do think you increase your chances of it happening.
Yeah, definitely. But like with what we do now, it's very rare we feel, in sort of a negative atmosphere. Very rare.
Yeah. We had that funny one in the garden when it went cold. It weren't negative, it was just bloody cold, wasn't it?
Just like a cold travel spot.
And it seemed to mute everything down, and then it buggered off and things got better again. That was a funny one, that one. A cold spot in the garden, and it was bloody cold. It weren't just slightly colder, it was a very visible temperature drop.
Yeah.
No, sorry, Mark, he lived back in the Midlands and he was a banker. And I did say banker. My dad was a milkman, believe it or not, for 30 years. That was the job my dad... He started off as a butcher and then he did his national service, and then when he came back he became a milkman, and he did it for over 30, 40 years, when he retired. Was he a milkman, Brett? No, that was my dad. Ripon. I know somebody who lives in Ripon, I think. I'm sure it's Ripon where they live. Somebody who's got Shebas.
Alright.
Oh, he's chatting up Laura now. It's because Selena's gone offline. I'm going to tell Selena, Lee. I'm going to tell Selena you're chatting up Laura. I think I'll have tomato soup and ham baguette for supper. Supper it's got to be close to midnight. Yeah, 2 minutes to midnight. That ain't supper, it's early breakfast.
Oh, I can't deal with tomato soup, it kills me.
Good night, Nikki, you have a nice night.
Good night, Nikki.
I'd like cheese sandwich with tomato soup, Lee. I quite like cheese sandwiches with tomato soup. My friend likes beetroot on toast, and it makes me rich.
Beetroot on toast.
She loves beetroot on toast with salad cream on it.
Ugh.
And I
think I could go for that, mate.
Andy, I love beetroot, but I just cannot bring myself to eat it on toast.
No.
I like it with salad cream, but
Yeah.
I couldn't eat it on toast.
I think I could.
Oh, she loves it. Absolutely loves it. It's like as a kid I used to love banana sandwiches. If I'd got to eat one now, I'd retch.
Really?
Yeah, I'd wretch if I'd got to eat one now. It is an early breakfast, it's midnight. You know, you mean to the next day now. It's not supper, it's early breakfast.
Peanut butter and cheese sandwich. Oh no,
Yeah.
I don't like the sound of that one.
No, mate. I don't know how the Americans like peanut butter and jam. And when you're in America, they've got it in jars and it's swirled together, Andy.
I know, I've seen it.
Oh, and
I,
that's somewhere else. I love peanuts, but I cannot stand peanut butter. I think
I,
it looks like diarrhea in a jar. Ugh.
I've had 2 tubs of chocolate Philadelphia for my tea.
Oh, I don't like the idea of chocolate cheese spread either.
Oh,
You're
it's
bloody obsessed, sweet cat.
I'm not.
That you've definitely got issues with that, you know.
Lindsay's put nothing finer than a beef pot noodle with salt and vinegar
Oh,
crisp mixed in. Oh my
oh
god!
what? I tell you what, I used to do with pot noodles. You know, chicken
I
and
used to top
mushroom.
it to the top with tomato ketchup to make it thicker.
Yeah. It's nice with tomato ketchup, but chicken and mushroom. You know, onion barges from you can get from Tesco or Morrison's.
I cannot
Put them
stand
in top on
mushrooms,
it.
Andy.
Oh,
I couldn't eat it because of the mushrooms.
really?
I love a beef and tomato pot noodle, and I fill it about an inch below the water line that you should do, and then I fill it right to the top with tomato ketchup, and then mix it all together.
I used to tomato ketchup chicken and mushroom one.
Yeah, I used to love
Huh?
can you remember the cheese and tomato one?
No,
Tomato?
Oh, I used to
No.
love the cheese and tomato pot noodle, and they stopped doing it.
I never saw
Yeah,
it.
they did a cheese and tomato one, and they stopped doing it.
No, I don't remember that. I remember Donna kebab one. That one nice.
That explains why you walk funny, Verno.
Yeah.
I experimented with beetroot before cucumbers. I cannot believe Lindsay mixes salt and vinegar crisps in a beef pot noodle.
No, that's just wrong.
They must go as soggy as they must go soggy like
Yeah, proper soggy.
cardboard.
Anyway, Vernon, how long have you been working on Celebrity Juice?
Celebrity juice?
Yeah, have you not seen him on Celebrity Juice?
No.
Yeah. He's a regular on Celebrity Juice. Start mallet naked and he has a pink backpack.
Oh God. Mother-in-law makes a beetroot chocolate cake. What?
Oh, they're meant to be really nice.
Beetroot chocolate cake?
If you get fresh beetroot, not pickled, fresh beetroot, and they're meant to be absolutely to die for.
Now, Lee, you've got to have that bit at the bottom to scrape out at the end. That's the best bit about the pot noodle is the really strong flavoured gungy bit at the bottom.
Oh, Gunji.
I love it. I love the bit. I always deliberately do that, Andy. So that there's always that gungy bit at the bottom to like the final
That
treat.
sounds
is lovely.
awful.
And I'll tell you what I used to be a bugger for. You know when you wait for the kettle to boil. I
Yeah.
used to sit there with a spoon eating the powder.
Oh no, I've done that. I've gone
Because
through
I just
that
love the
phase.
powder. So by the time you've tipped water in it, you've just got noodles.
Tell you what we used to do. Whenever
You got very weak flavoured noodles because I've eaten all the bloody powder by the time the kettle's boiled.
when I was a kid, we used to go to swimming baths, and when we'd done, we'd get chips in a cone. We'd have that much vinegar on them. Drink hot vinegar out of the bottle.
Do you know, I actually did that the once with vinegar out of a beetroot jar. And I got up the next morning, went for a pee, and it was pink. And I panicked.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I forgot I'd drunk this beetroot juice, and I honestly thought, I'd got a kidney problem. And then I remembered, I'd drunk the beetroot juice the night before, but I was literally peeing pink, and it scared the crap out of me the following morning.
I'll send you a picture.
Yeah.
I posted it on my Facebook once. I'll send you.
I'll try it, Lindsay. I'll definitely try it. Whether I'll like it will be another matter. Laura, I cannot stand blue cheese. I don't like gorgonzola.
I wonder if she likes blue cheese. I wonder if she likes blue waffles.
Google it, cat.
Blue?
Blue waffles. Google blue waffles. Find out what they are. Blue waffles. My dad likes Stilton and Gorgonzola, and I used to remember as a kid, Andy, he'd stick it in the fridge. Not say nothing, you go to the fridge to get some, or open the fridge and the smell of it would just knock you out.
Oh, cat's reaction.
Cat's having a good look at blue waffles. You need to Google cornflakes next.
Cornflakes.
What has it got to Google? Why cornflakes are made?
What is it? Oh, yeah, it could be.
Cornflakes? Well,
Yeah,
it's just-
Google why cornflakes are made.
Yeah, I know what it is, yeah.
Why cornflakes are made?
Yeah.
Oh, what? Why were cornflakes invented?
Yeah. I roll a £10 note up and do the pot noodle up my nose. Oh, I've got to do that tomorrow, ain't I?
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
You've got a challenge.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, I like the blue waffle better.
I can't believe you hadn't heard of blue waffles, Cat.
Oh, yeah. Oh my god.
It's amazing the things you can discover on the internet.
Well, it's been a while, you see, Brett, so, you know, I'm out of the loop.
I had somebody send me that Two Girls and a Glass once, and I refused to open it because
Two girls, one cup.
Yeah, I'd been tipped off about what it was, and I'm very tickled stomached over stuff like that. I really, really cannot see the fascination with that at all.
What?
Google Two Girls and a Cup.
Two girls, one cup.
Stop you masturbating, Cat. I can tell you, it don't work.
Oh my god, blue waffles.
Google Two Girls, One Cup, Lindsay.
It's an oldie but a goodie.
Yeah. Have you found it, Cat?
Yeah, no thanks.
I refuse to open it, Cat, because I've been pre-warned. I just couldn't cope with it. Oh my god, don't Google it. Laura's obviously watched it plenty of times.
Of course she has.
You can tell by the emojis. This chat going downhill fast. What conversation have I come back to, lol? You've just missed the fact that Cat didn't know what blue waffles and why cornflakes were invented. Three girls, one cup. Oh, I ain't seen that one.
Ooh.
3 girls, 1 cup.
We get an extra chucked in for free.
I've watched a lot, lol.
I was same. I used to frequent all them like messed up sites back in early 90s. You know, like the one called bangedup.com, and that used to feature all disgusting stuff.
I used to look at Steak and Cheese.
Yeah, that was similar. Yeah.
Have you seen that? What Stevens just put up? Dare I say that there was a YouTube channel called Blue Waffle Paranormal?
Really?
Oh god, I'm surprised they got away with that. Hi Rose, welcome back.
Hey Rose.
Oh my god, just watched it. I bet you've watched it twice, Ver, now tell the truth.
Just putting my chocolate in the bin.
I hope you enjoy your chocolate Philadelphia later, Cat.
I've eaten it.
Oh dear.
With half a packet of digest Ovis biscuits.
I'm just spitting my chocolate in the bin. He came back with a what? Tevipt. I told Kev to look up blue waffle. He came back with a... What's a Tevipt?
Google midget.
Google midget.
Google midget tossing.
This live stream's taken a decidedly...
Rose says she was blue waffle paranormal. I take it Cat has Googled midget tossing. If I Google this and it's disgusting, I'm not going to be happy if it makes me feel sick. Is this going to make me feel sick, Cat?
No.
Oh dear.
Have you Googled it, Andy?
I hadn't know.
I'm going to Google it. If I start laughing, you'll know it's safe. If I start gagging, don't look at it.
It's wrong on so many levels.
I just hope I ain't going to get the police knocking me door later. Let's just come up with dwarf tossing. You ain't come up with nothing rude. I am safe, it's just videos of literally what it says, Andy. Oh God, the things you do. Well, I've always wanted to go at midget tossing. Why?
When it was my best mate's birthday, we went to, there used to be a nightclub just up the road from us, and it was called bloody Barcelona. Well, they had half Monty on, didn't they? Oh God. You can imagine. Midgets doing full Monty.
Stephen says he knows someone who does midget tossing. Is it actually a job?
A legit job.
Moose knuckle.
What's moose knuckle?
I'm sure you're about to Google it and find out, Cat.
I am now, yeah. Oh, it took me, I didn't even have to bloody type it on. Moose knuckle. It's come up as a jacket. Moose knuckles, it's clothes.
Perhaps it's similar to a camel toe.
Just a lot bigger.
Yeah.
Moose knuckle, it's clothing at Harrods.
Let me have a look, see if I can find what it is.
Stephen says midget tossing is actually classed as a sport.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's right. It's just all coming up with a bloody jacket.
Yeah.
I think it is meant to be similar to a camel toe, according to the way Laura's giggling.
Ah!
Have you
found
found it?
It's a male version.
Is it?
Yeah, a male moose knuckle.
How can you get a male version?
I think, well, by the look on it, it's either with a ball bag separated into cloth, or schlongs at one side at cloth and balls are at other, creating a moose knuckle. You are?
Oh, you found it.
Well, just go to Google Images and scroll about, well, do about eight to 10 scrolls down, and you get two little pictures on it.
Oh, hang on.
Cat don't want little pictures, they want great big massive ones that blow up.
Yeah, I could have had some great big ones tonight. I'd have gone where.
Strangled ball bag.
I'm looking on my phone, remember, so I've only got Come on.
Rose, that is just too much information.
David Bowie had had a semi moose knuckle in Labyrinth.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, the foot David Beckham with the moose knuckle.
Just why?
Yeah.
Can you see how far these paranormal chats fall at the end?
It is, isn't it?
Yeah. You know, half an hour ago we were happily talking about the Fae. Now we're talking about strangling your nutsack. Oh God. Well, I'm gonna roll this stream up in a bit because I've got to get up early because we've got another workshop tomorrow. Do you want to tell everybody about it quickly, Andy?
I've got no idea on this one because it's all Ellen's game.
Is it 11 o'clock again or 11:30?
11 o'clock again.
Right.
Elodie, oh no, Ellen's gone, hasn't she?
Yeah, she went to bed. But yeah, we're doing like a Yule sort of jobby thing tomorrow. Making baubles.
You could tell Andy ain't organised this one
Yeah.
because he don't know what it is exactly. But do your best, Andy.
Baubles and wreaths, isn't it?
Yeah. I know about reef thing. I know Becky's like supplying some reefs and that. But yeah, I think we're making some sort of like pagan themed baubles.
Okay. From what I can gather, it's in glass baubles with an hole in them, so we should have fun poking things in holes tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll be stuffing balls.
Stuffing balls by poking things in holes.
Are you coming along, Kat?
I'm hoping to, yeah. I've got a couple of bits that I need to do. I need to go see my uncle because he's not too good. I need to go get dog food. I need to go to Boots and try and return something that I've placed an order. Yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping to get over. And then, did you say you were going to be doing something Yule-wise?
Yeah, we're having like a Yule party, ain't we, Andy? I think.
Apparently. I've got no idea.
No, I've got to pick that all up tomorrow.
Well, weather permitting, do you want to bring your equipment and we'll go do something tomorrow night? Since how we're all together. Since how we've just listed all these places that we want to go. Oh, hang on a minute, guys. My mum's ringing.
Right.
Hello? Do you want a lift? Do you want a lift? All right, okay, I won't be long. All right, bye. Right, guys, I'm gonna have to go because my mum needs a lift. So, good night, everybody.
I'm just going to close it anyway now.
All right. Well, I'll just say good night to everybody in chat. So, thanks for putting up with my little rant earlier. Again, it is just my opinion. Anyway, so Andy, Brett, I will message you in the morning. Like I say, all being well, I'm hoping to come over. If you don't want to do anything tomorrow night, that's fine. Yeah, so night everybody in chat. Love you loads. Have a lovely Christmas, everybody. And Yule blessings to you all. And I will speak to you all later. Andy, Brett, Becky, I'll message you in the morning. Night.
All right, Kat. See you later.
Good night. Bye.
Good night. Right, we will be doing a final stream on Sunday. It's the last one before Christmas. Obviously, it'll be our card reading night. So that should be fun. It will be the last one. And then obviously we'll probably start them up. Probably just I don't know whether I'll do one in between Christmas and the New Year or not yet, but I'll let you know one way or the other. But thanks to Andy and Kat for coming on again tonight. It's been fun, including all the drama in the middle.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming in the stream again. You're the people who actually make these streams, because it's everybody getting included that makes them what they are. So just like to say thank you to everybody, and for anybody who ain't going to see us on Sunday, I'll wish you a Merry Christmas now. Everybody who's coming into the card readings, I'll wish you a Merry Christmas on Sunday. So have a good night all, and thanks again for the stream.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.